No matter what happens, we don't teach you to turn the other cheek. We don't teach you to turn the other cheek in the South, and we don't teach you to turn the other cheek in the North. We teach you to obey the law. We teach you to carry yourselves in a respectable way. But at the same time, we teach you that anyone who puts his hand on you, do your best to see that he doesn't put it on anybody else.
I can only repeat it, that I think that, you see, just automatic forgiveness when it comes to black people being harmed or killed or injured by people who classify themselves as white. We don't hear people who are white if they have feel they have sustained some injury or harm from a black person. We don't hear them saying, I forgive, I forgive, I forgive. And I was saying in a talk recently, no one asked the white females who lined up and were accusing Bill Cosby of having sexually or date raped them. And no white person would say to them, one or more, or all of them, a long time has passed. Don't you think it's time for you to forgive Mr. Cosby? Nobody would ever think of that. Do you see? Nor would anybody think to ask a Semite of the Jewish religion, well, have you forgiven the German people? Have you forgiven the Nazis for what they did? Do you see? Nobody would even think of saying that. So I think that it is a part of black people's tradition from the time of enslavement. Do you see, where the slave master could beat the black person, and I could just envision the black person being beaten and the slave master or the slave mistress would be saying, say that you forgive me. Do you see? And then giving them another lash. Say that you forgive me. And so the black person doesn't have a choice but to say, I forgive, master. I forgive. I forgive. I forgive. And I don't want to show any disrespect to the mother of Mr. Walker. I mean, I certainly understand what has happened to black people and where that pattern comes in. When we were in formal slavery, I heard a white female explain to a young black man, this was at a Race Relations Institute a number of years ago, and the young black man in a small group discussion, he said, I don't believe in racism, I'm a Christian. And an older white female said to him, son, we, meaning we white people, gave you that tradition. We gave you that religion. And we emphasized three things. Slave, obey your master. Turn the other cheek, and you will get your reward in heaven. And so that is the yoke that black people, I say by and large, are still under. And most black people are not thinking about or understanding that we are in a total system structure of racism. Well, see, you can't run an oppressive state or plantation or a prison and have the inmates become angry at the jailer. So you, if possible, you engage in the psychological warfare of teaching them a philosophy of forgiveness. Now, the prisoner or the slave on the plantation hasn't been let free. The prisoner in the prison hasn't been said, we forgive you, and so your sentence is terminated. No one is speaking to the prisoner or the slave on the plantation in that way. But the plantation is run by beating, well, first and foremost, I would say, and maybe somebody will be offended, I would hope not, that when you give the enslaved Africans an image of God that is the same image of the slave master, and say that you must behave yourself so that this image of God, which is the same image as the slave master, so that God will love you and admit you into heaven. You must forgive the slave master. Now that was the position that black people were in for hundreds of years during the years of formal enslavement. And what could they do about it when they were beaten and killed at whim? You see, and so that's when these ideas were implanted, and we must begin to step back and view them more objectively and understand that this is an aspect of the maintenance of oppression. And those black people who are admonishing black people that they should forgive, I would say that those people have been harmed by having their self-respect as black people annihilated, whether they're conscious of it or whether they are subconscious.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. What's going on, Miss Vita? Shouts out to you. You in the building? Yeah, I know this is not my normal time. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but I fell asleep, and then I got other stuff to do today. And let me tell you, first and foremost, I'm probably not gonna have the Black History thing tomorrow like I wanted, but I'm gonna have it coming sometime this week. So I'm gonna let y'all know, but I got other stuff I want to take care of later. So but I definitely had to do this because I wanted to do it yesterday, and then there's even more stuff on top of it that I didn't even get yesterday. So it was probably a reason for that. But I mean, it's something that I feel like needs to I tried to address it, but our cowardice is it has got to go, and it's really disgusting. There's things that we're doing, and then we wonder why we can't ever get nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We gravitate to all the dumb stuff because we don't have the courage to stand up on the everyday things that we know is facts. You know what I'm saying? And I played this before, but I'm gonna play it again before I go through it. Like I said, I'm gonna be quick. If anybody want to come on here, I'll put the link out there if you want to jump in. But before I do that, I showed this at the beginning before, but I have to show this one more time because this is just what we sound like out here.
Tonight on The Patriot Factor, we are here with special guest Darren Coates, pastor of New Love Worship Center. Pastor.
Thank you for having me, Sarah.
Thanks for coming. So, $10.5 million in property damages since the Brady trial ended. You have a question for those angry Black protesters out there.
The question I have for those protesters is that, do Black lives really matter? And I say no. Black lives does not matter. They won't not matter, and they can't not matter until Black on Black crime is eliminated.
Wow, preach, preacher.
Blacks is confused. Don't nobody know what to do. Confused. What I'm gonna do? Am I gonna raise a fist? Or am I gonna march? Am I gonna march? Or am I gonna take a knee? Riot, loot, What? And you know what the answer is, Sarah? Prayer.
Yes, Lord.
Prayer, Sarah. I get down on both knees. 2 knees, not one.
Yes.
And I pray. I pray that the same God who saw us through the middle passage will see us through this.
Amen.
Amen, sister?
Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
Now, listen, this is how a lot of us do sound. You know what I'm saying? Like, in this forgiveness, and we have smoke for nobody but ourselves. And then sometimes it's like, there was a time where people was getting on me because they like, oh, you don't talk about other black people. Like, we have been so conditioned and so programmed. And sometimes I do lose hope. Like, the only way to get out of this is to like push the button. And I understand that maybe I have less to lose than other people. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, like, you really have more to lose. So you should really be more militant about making things change than I am. But yet we take the same mindset, it's the same weakness that we're going to continue to deal with the same problems as long as we have. Right. And let me show you. All right. So a lot of people will get mad at this, but like, this is what I'll try. This is what I'll be telling you. And these white boys do it for no reason. But listen to what he's saying and then think about it as far as where we go.
We need to go after Target in a very serious way. It is time for decent, ordinary Americans who do not believe in radical ideas in either direction to just say, I will not allow my kids to be corrupted by this trans agenda.
All right. So, and it's irrelevant what they say, right? But the point is, right, they're saying, okay, we need to target or punish Target, you know what I'm saying, and take away our dollars from them because they're pushing this quote unquote agenda. Now, for whatever reason that they do it for, you know what I'm saying, I really don't care. But I do recognize that, our children are in jeopardy. How do I know? Because look at the stuff that we're doing. And then even if you be like, black people is our biggest enemy, they're still in the same system. We control nothing. We own nothing, right? And everybody do what they want to us, and we let it happen. You know what I'm saying? So like, I want you to understand that they are usually in a better situation, right? Or they're protesting taxes, but they'll have a revolutionary war. But we are having our children shot down in the street, and we talk about no justice, no peace, but we the most peaceful and get the least amount of justice, right? And these, like, I'm gonna let this good old white boy tell you, because it was seem extreme from me, but y'all would let this slide from him.
Pride. Let's see what else.
They say they're putting the clothes in the back. I want Target to go bankrupt. I want them to close. I want Chapter 11. Okay.
Somebody else can buy them up.
No,
be conservative, because there could be a bunch of empty buildings.
Yeah, no, I want them to go Chapter 11. People say, what does success look like? Chapter 11. Okay. I want skull and bones all the way down to the absolute nails of the stores. Yeah, that's the only thing they understand is force. Pain is a teacher.
Now listen to what he just said. The only thing they understand is force. Now we know Target is racist as hell, and let me tell you, like, they probably watching you as soon as you get out your car on those cameras. You know what I'm saying? But like, all of these companies, right? It's no go out there and protest. It's you vote with your dollar. You support your other businesses. You put the money. We seen how these killers is out here raising $1 million. And that's what I mean. They are outworking us when it comes to this. Now, we will look at it and be like, oh, well, we just need to hold a sign up and go outside of Target and walk around the store for a couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? But no, if we really want to change, we vote with our dollars. Did you hear what this white boy said? You know what I'm saying?
Nails of the stores. Yeah, that's the only thing they understand is force. Pain is a teacher.
Now,
Right. Pain is a teacher, right? Now, understand that. This is what I want y'all to understand. Like, there has to be consequences for actions. You can't just let somebody keep doing something to you and then there'll be no consequences, right? pain, force, any of that stuff, you know what I'm saying, is a teacher of lessons. And you wonder why nobody get taught lessons, because we scared to death, you know what I'm saying?
Down to the absolute nails of the stores. Yeah, that's the only thing they understand is force. Pain is a teacher.
Now I'll let this white boy tell you this, you know what I'm saying? So pain is a teacher. But listen, man, and I played this because I wanted to play some other stuff, but I'll use this one, right? Ahmaud Arbery's family. I remember this, you know what I'm saying? Where we sit here and talk about thank God for slavery. I didn't want to use the junk to kind of set the whatever, but this is the mentality that we have, as you know, that we can't. I don't know what to say. It's sickening because like we're doomed, yo. We're straight doomed.
That the spirit of Ahmaud defeated the lynch mob. The spirit of Ahmaud defeated the lynch mob. The spirit of Ahmaud defeated the lynch mob. Marcus Aubrey.
Go, Marcus. You got this. Go, Marcus. Go.
Number one, I want to give all glory to God.
Yes.
Because my man said, give all glory to God that they murdered my son.
That's who made all this possible.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but
Number two,
how did this guy that you giving glory to make this possible? By having your, come on, man. It's like, yo, we're straight done for it. And then we find every excuse in the book where we all go find a way to argue with each other because you ain't got the courage. And that goes for them and it goes for us, all of that. Yo, that's the thing, because it's a fear that comes along with it. We were saying the same thing. We know, everybody knows the true thing. Like if a bully, because you tell your kids, if a bully is bullying you, what do you like? Yo, sometimes you punch the bully back in the face and then they stop, right? We know that, you know what I'm saying? But because we don't cut the same slack with each other, we don't do the same things. It's just when you hear them talk, but all you hear is, especially black men, well, what can we do? We are, you know, they have a military. They gonna do what they used to do to us. You know what I'm saying? This here is like weakness. You know what I'm saying? Indoctrination by fear. You know what I'm saying?
I want
I
to
get
thank
what you're
his
saying,
mama.
though.
Yes. And I want to thank my sisters and brothers. I want to thank my children for being strong through this rough time.
Yes.
Because I know it was hard what they had to deal with.
Yes.
And number two, I want to thank all y'all people, all the support y'all gave us. Because one of us did this.
There you go.
Ain't no one side did this.
That's right.
Ain't no one
God
side
put
did
us all together to make this happen. So ain't no one side. So what I tell you, God don't work one-sided. God work two-sided. All right, I'm going to put you here, I'm going to put you there.
Amen.
So y'all pull together and work this thing.
Amen.
No, working this thing. What you mean? See, now I don't know what church teaches this nonsense. So which book has he read that said this nonsense here, bro? Like, I don't know, man. He said he two-sided.
So hey, that's what it's all about.
Amen.
Because if one side wouldn't work, it wouldn't have happened.
That's right.
You had people working when you wasn't working.
That's right.
Come on. When you weren't working, you had people out here working, marching, going in these offices.
Yeah.
We conquered that lynch mob.
Yes.
We got that lynch mob. This history today, letting you know that black kid life don't matter. For real, all life matters.
Oh Lord, for real, all lives matter. This is like how will you know that you can't look at the male of a species and look at this, right? I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying, because I am one and it's part of my responsibility too. But like, damn, when we goddamn out here looking like this, it's like, how can we be surprised at the results that we getting? That the lack of respect from the world that you're getting because you saying it, real all lives matter. You're like, what are you talking about?
We got that lynch mob. This history today, letting you know that black kid life don't matter. For real, all life matters.
All life.
Yes.
Not just black children. We don't want to see nobody go through this.
Amen.
I wouldn't want to see no daddy watch their kid get lynched and shot down like that.
That's right, Mom.
So it's all our problem. It's all our problem.
Yeah.
So hey, let's keep fighting. Let's keep doing it and making this place a better place for all human beings.
Amen.
All human beings.
Amen.
Everybody.
Now, see, people be like, yo, I be hating or I'm this or I'm that because when people say, oh, we all human beings, all human, bro, if human beings, like, yo, that's a whole nother conversation. But obviously, if they are all trying to work in the progress of their group to make sure that their group gets ahead, and we're the only one, we're at the bottom. And what's the difference? We sitting here talking about all lives matter. We got to work together. We black in this, black in that. We all friends. We all love each other. And we still sitting here in the same situation. Yeah, exactly. The history of strong black men being eliminated, like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Khalid, Medgar Evers, and the list goes on and on. And, you know, I heard people be like, yo, after Malcolm X, who would want to take that role? Who would do this for? When they're not even realizing that you're really doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your children. You're doing it for your own lineage. Because even if you think that you're tough or that you're a gangster or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to always be here. So you might want to build a system that is going to ensure, or at least contribute and have faith in your children that they're going to get it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I don't know, man. They make sure, because I was talking about this, right? Everybody that we be like, yo, is a hero. What happened to them? They end up murdered. You know what I'm saying? Now, they're quote unquote heroes. They put was rapists, killers, you know what I'm saying, child molesters. They put them on the side of a mountain. And there's a difference. They call that white boy a hero for choking out that young brother on the train. They call him a hero. And he got millions of dollars in support. Right, the people that we call heroes, like Malcolm X and them, they are no longer here. Yo, Al Sharpton in the background, they talking about like he preaching or something. Real, all lives matter. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna play a little bit more because I'm gonna show you why I even picked this one.
Amen. Love everybody.
Love everybody.
You hear this? And this, you know, that black people always been saying this. We got to go around. I don't care
All
what you
our
practice.
problems.
The 5%ers talk about how the 5%ers gonna talk about teaching other people around the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, how 5% are you if you don't even understand that? You know what I'm saying? That's led to your destruction in the first place. We know all lives matter because, you know, we got to be this and that towards other people. And I don't know if that's indoctrination, like, because she, you know, Miss Vita is right. You know, is indoctrination. Yo, what's going on, Raw? Thank you for coming through. Right. Focus on ourselves and educate ourselves first, you know. And Raw, you know, like, Raw, this is the crazy part about black people here. We know the damn answer, but it's so many people out there that just do the same thing, you know?
It's all our problem. So, hey, let's keep fighting. Let's keep doing it and making this place a better place for all human beings.
Amen.
All human beings.
Amen.
Everybody.
Amen.
Love everybody.
Love everybody.
All human beings need to be treated equally.
Yeah, how does that get you? I tell you what, look, they shot Martin Luther King Jr. in the face, right? So I'm gonna tell you not to go that way because they shot him in the face, right? So you might want to at least take one or two of them out with you if you're gonna have to go that way. But anyway, I wouldn't say thank you for my son, but I want to show you this because let's look at this lynch mob because they're trying to now get this case overturned. I don't know because I just heard about it. Maybe y'all know about it, but I ain't seen nobody talking about it. But they're trying to get this case. This damn lynch mob is out here now, is taking back what they said, trying to get it overturned. You see the fake white boy tears. He's trying to get the tears out, dude in the middle, but dude on the right side, you know, he's trying his best to get them white tears, but they're not white bitches, so it's not as effective, you know what I'm saying? But yo, that is true, because it's like, you know, at the beginning, Francis Cress Welsing was like, you know, it's a condition of like you were saying, like about slavery and stuff, but damn it, yo, we gotta break out of that shit. We ain't got time for that no more, you know what I'm saying? But you're right though.
Convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia more than 3 years ago, now are taking part of their case to a higher court. One of the arguments says prosecutors did not prove that they killed Arbery because he was black. Gregory McMichael, his son Travis McMichael, and their neighbor William Roddy Bryan. They were all convicted in Arbery's 2020 death.
The three were also found guilty of federal hate crimes for the act, which is what the three men are now trying to appeal to the 11th Circuit in Atlanta. News4Jax reporter Joe McLean joining us live tonight with a look at how the men are making this case.
Yeah, raw. They not raw. Like, they be scared to say that. I'm gonna be like, yo, I don't got love for nobody but me and my people. You know what I'm saying? Us to get. We ain't even got time to love no. We can't even get along with each other. How we gonna love or like or be friends with anybody else? I don't got love for none of them. You know what I'm saying? The mission is to be where we need to be, so we protecting our children, you know what I'm saying? And they have the position not only to survive, but to thrive in the world to where they can be on top, you know what I'm saying? And it's up to us to put them in that position, right? But sitting there talking about, we got that lynch mob and stuff, and this is the lynch mob here trying to overturn their convictions.
In Atlanta. News4Jax reporter Joe McLean joining us live tonight with a look at how the men are making this case. Joe?
Yeah, in order to get those very, very serious convictions on all three of these men, federal prosecutors really had to prove certain things about what happened in that Satilla Shores neighborhood that day. Now, all three of these men, though, they're challenging. They say the federal prosecutors failed to prove certain aspects of the case. 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery was jogging through the Brunswick neighborhood on February 23rd, 2020. He was confronted by Gregory and Travis McMichael, who began to chase him, with William Roddy Bryan following and filming with his cell phone. The clip shows the moments when the McMichaels catch up and attempt to capture Arbery, and when Arbery tried to resist Arbery. Gregory McMichael's appeals argue that the court failed to prove that he acted because of Arbery's race and color. Also, that the court didn't sufficiently prove that he attempted to kidnap Arbery because of some kind of reward or benefit. The elder McMichael's appeal also points to a possible technicality with the status of the vehicle the father and son were using during the attack, and questioned whether the street through Satilla Shores was technically defined as a public facility. Travis McMichael's appeal challenged the use of a thread from the Satilla Shores Facebook page as evidence that the two knew the street was a public place. His appeal also pointed to some possible error in the state's assessment of how the McMichaels used their vehicle, saying it shouldn't have met the definition of an attempted kidnapping. Like Gregory's appeal, William Roddy Bryan's argument pushes back on the idea that his motive for confronting Arbery was because of his race, because Arbery was making use of a public street, and because Bryan wanted to gain some kind of reward or benefit for kidnapping Arbery. Curtis Fallgatter is an attorney not affiliated with this case. He said, getting a jury verdict like this overturned is an extremely heavy burden.
And that is a motion where you say the judge should have basically thrown the case out, which means no reasonably minded jury would convict. That's an incredibly high standard. Appellate courts hardly ever reverse on that standard.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff that hardly is supposed to happen.
Now, the case is set to go before the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta, with all three of these convicted men arguing for that their case be argued out in court. Oral arguments is what they're calling for. As a reminder, the McMichaels, Gregory and Travis, received life sentences for their federal crimes, and Bryan got 30.
Now, I'm saying, right, before we thank God for, and getting that lynch mob, you might want to at least make sure that the punishment, which it cannot be because they are here and he is not. So it has not been levied, But even the punishment that you are thanking God for, you might want to make sure that that happens before anything. You know what I'm saying? And it's the bottom line is, like, this is how it works, unless you have a system or something that's going to punish these people, you cannot sit there and be like, yo, you cannot let this stuff slide, because you never know what's going to happen. I know people be like, yo, it is what it is, but you are going to their courts and their system, and then we think that we can somehow appeal to a bunch of psychopaths, right, who created this whole thing for it to be working exactly like this, right, to somehow find this humanity that they're supposed to have, I don't know if Neanderthals can be, you know, human or not. I don't know what we're considering them. But you're sitting there waiting for them and their justice system, right? Praying to something or waiting for something, or, you know, something telling you to forgive somebody who hasn't even apologized to you. And then we wonder why we get in the same situation over and over. Now, I talked about this, so it is not, and it's not like a lot I can say, because they're not going to let me talk to the people, because I'm going to tell you, you know what I'm saying? The only one way is to the top, is to make sure that you are in power and that you are ensuring that your enemies cannot do anything to you by any means necessary, even if that means taking it out if it's too big of a threat. Right? Well, they do take out your heroes. Your heroes are who? Are they still alive? You know what I'm saying? Their heroes are, and walking around peacefully and putting out GoFundMe's that's making $1 million. Meanwhile, when we talk about educating our children, when we talk about protecting them, forming some kind of thing to do something, we cannot get anybody to support that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying just me, because, you know, I got a small thing, but there's people doing way bigger and better things than me. And it's difficult for us to get support. And I've seen it myself. And they outwork us. They are working harder than us, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the mentality before we can do anything. It's the mentality that we have, because I don't know. I think it's cowardice, you know what I'm saying? So let me show, because this is really what I want to show, you know, like not this one, but the point of
A week ago, the daughter of known.
But this is the mindset of Black people here, you know what I'm saying? So I want to show this. I'll do it this way. All right, so this brother, and you know, Erica sent me, but listen to what this is a brother here talking about the daughter of a KKK leader reached out to him for help, and y'all can guess what he did.
One KKK member, Charles Newcomb, reached out to me for help to help her and her 3 children to save their home. First, her and her daughter would like to say something to everybody, and then please stick around, as she has something personally on her heart that she would like to say to everybody.
Thank you, Terrence, and we are Human Family for helping save our house.
Oh Lord, look at the human host has manifested, raw, and you know what has to happen to the host, man. See, y'all is not gonna be like, yo, this little, she's gonna grow up to be a bigger white bitch. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna be like, oh, she's just a kid, and all of that stuff. Like, yo, it is what it is at this point. You know what I'm saying? You could have said, you know, that little girl up north, I forget, well, she was sleeping in her family house and the police broke in and shot her and killed her and nobody got punished. She was a little girl, right? A lot of little girls, right? But you know what? Y'all have to have the courage to be able to say this stuff, you know?
It means a lot and makes us realize that, you know, there are people out there that still want to help.
Just said, why do they work so hard? There must be something special about us for them to keep that kind of energy. Well, yeah, I mean, there is something. I think, I think we the greatest group of people. Is just that we got this mental block that we got to get over. You know what I'm saying? But every group works hard to maintain you have to work hard to maintain your freedom, your peace, your sanity. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that your community is protected, because outsiders is always going to come in. Like, think about it. If something go wrong, right, where the power goes out for like 2 months or something, just 2 months, just the power going out, right? There's going to be people in your neighborhood. If you have stocked up and supplies, going to be people in your neighborhood who did not do that, who's going to want to come in and take your stuff. But you have to be more prepared than that person in those situations, even in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Now, on the grand scale, they have came in and took our stuff, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to work to protect it, because number one, they like, oh, well, like, yeah, if we get into power, we're going to do to them what they did to us, is their fear, because a psychopath can only judge others off of their mindset about the stuff that they do. So they're not going to want that to ever happen. That's number one. But to maintain the resources and everything that you need, you're going to have to outwork your competitor no matter what, you know what I'm saying? Even when you become a nation, making sure that you're taking care of your own, right? If you have a weakness or propensity for white bitches, they're going to use white bitches to catch you slipping, right? It's been successful for 6,000 years, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever your weakness is, somebody's going to come and try to take what it is that you need, right? And on the same token, I'm like, yo, we need to be taking whatever it is that we need, like from wherever on the earth is at, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know we try to argue and say, no, we're not letting anybody have anything, but I know we got to start from scratch, you know what I'm saying? So I don't even go that far yet. But listen, they work harder because that's what they have to do to maintain position, but they respond with more urgency to maintain their position, but we have to respond with even more urgency than them to get out of the situation that we're in. Like, we really have to be diligent about it because we understand everything that happens. They have whole programs to stop it. You know what I'm saying? Most have been ways accepting the laws that give them established to take anything. Whatever freedoms they got, little freedoms they got. They work incredibly harder than us and make sure they get yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And we're actually not even doing it's people doing the work, but I'm talking about as a collective. They cannot really beat us. I know that. They aren't that creative. It's just that we don't take initiative or do the stuff that we're supposed to do. He said when we band together, we be accused of crimes and they present a different story to the world for them, on their own media. Yeah, that's just what they do. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important for us to have our own media, you know what I'm saying? And the point is, laws are only laws when there's somebody there who can enforce them, you know what I'm saying? Because the truth is, there should be laws that we as Black people need to be agreeing on and enforcing, like the protection of our children. You can't just come in and kill one of us. I don't care who they be. Y'all would agree with me if I'm talking about another Black person doing some harm to our community. You know what I'm saying? But when I talk about outsiders, then it'd be like, oh Lord, you know what I'm saying? We have to enforce the law that, it comes with a strict penalty that nobody wants to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Even if it be the granddaughter of a KKK leader, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, exactly. We just need to focus more. I don't think they can beat us if we was on the right wavelength, because how can they? You know what I'm saying? It's just that I don't know. That's why I keep saying, I gotta be the fear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go back to that show, Spooked Out or Punked Out. Yeah. But that's another thing that controls the mindsets of young people watch media stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important for us to have, it don't have to be their media per se, even though even YouTube is their stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it has to be something where we can reach our children's mind, you know what I'm saying? And teach them the real history, teach them the real truth, you know what I'm saying? Because they indoctrinate their kids and keep their system going, you know what I'm saying? Wait, let me play this.
We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Before I play this next part, I do want to issue a tears warning, because for me, this is emotional.
Now this boy crying.
Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and say thank you again.
This crackhead white girl, and he talking about some crying. I'm crying because what the hell is wrong with Black men, bro? Like, what the hell, bro? And she came to you for help because you know why? You're gonna do it.
For helping me and my daughter save my home. As someone who was raised up in the family that I was, with my father being, the head of the KKK, I was always taught that hate was the main objective. And we wasn't allowed to show emotion. We wasn't allowed to cry. We wasn't allowed to, really go out and do anything. And, with my father teaching me so much hate as a kid, when he got arrested finally when I was 15 years old.
I wish I could skip
my
it
whole world
because
changed.
blah blah blah. But
I was moved from the state I was in to a different state to people that I didn't even know, for protection.
About a week ago, the daughter of known KKK member Charles Newcomb reached out to me for help to help her and her 3 children to save their home. First, her and her daughter would like to say something to everybody, and then please stick around.
Now, it's more to it. I don't think I have it, but listen, I wonder if a sister, you know what I'm saying, like a single mom reach out to him, a black woman, like, yo, I might lose my home, would he help or not? But damn it, if he can make sure Miss Ann will be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the mindset of, you know what I'm saying, our people, you know what I'm saying? Now let me show you this, right? Because this just happened, and this is just another part of it, you know what I'm saying?
Force during the unrest.
Now they honoring George Floyd 3 years later, quote unquote, honoring George Floyd. All right, so check it out.
And losing millions more in workers' comp settlements for hundreds of police officers who had PTSD. Despite everything.
No, see, that's the thing, Ms. Vita. You know what I'm saying? She said we had it all, media, banks, schools, etc. All have been infiltrated. No need to repeat defeated things. It starts with the individual. Renew your mind. Be kind to your own. Focus on us. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? We had it until we thought that we could go with somebody else, until we saw that the white man's ice is colder and all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But there's no way around it, because like you can't tell me that the school you're not, first of all, even if we wanted to make these things happen, we would all have to go down to the damn school board to make sure that our children is being taught the correct things, you know what I'm saying? But when we go down there and you send your kids to the schools, they're not teaching them the proper history. I wasn't taught the proper history, and I don't think they do that now, you know what I'm saying? And we have now come with this individual mindset that really restricts us from being able to work together, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people will say, well, I'm not going to do this or do that, you know what I'm saying? Because other black people ain't going to whatever. But it's irrelevant what they do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. It's a different animal that we're dealing with when it comes to like the situation we in, because it's completely different now, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's this illusion of inclusion because we need these things, you know what I'm saying? Because you go to the bank, you get discriminated, you're not getting the loans, you go to the doctor, they give you some poor health advice. Like, look at our situation in every aspect of life, you know what I'm saying? And focusing on our own, like, there is no other choice but to start circling the dollars in your community, or having like healthcare facilities that treat us the way that we're supposed to be treated. Because we keep saying this stuff about we're all humans, but we react to different medicines differently. They don't take us seriously. Black women all the time, like, yo, they don't treat us for what we're supposed to be treated for, and we die super young. We have way more obesity than we did. Our kids are a lot dumber and a lot weaker than we used to be when we were in control of these things, you know what I'm saying? And it's important. It was not just defeated, you know what I'm saying? It was us as a whole thinking this, you know, people of color stuff, you know what I'm saying? And look, the only alternative is complete destruction, you know what I'm saying? I hate to bring it to you like that way, but that's really the only alternative to doing it that way, you know what I'm saying? It's just complete destruction for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Because as individuals, we continue to be at the bottom of everything, you know what I'm saying? And I get what you're saying. And, you know, just like you said, being kind to ourselves, like speaking to each other, it's like, yo, what's going on, brother? What's going on? You know, just actually speaking to each other. But really, if you don't have a way to be able to issue consequences, they can just pull you over, and then all of that just goes down the drain if something happens to your children. And the point is to stop all of the casualties, you know what I'm saying? Like, they haven't defeated anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's things that we have given them, and it's things that they could not do unless another black person was there. That's when you adjust your stuff, not just throw it away. You adjust. You throw away all the bad things that do you wrong, and then you learn your lessons. You know what I'm saying? Like even if somebody try to infiltrate, what they're gonna do? Donate? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you right now what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so check it out, right?
An organization that tracks police killings finds that Black Americans are still more than twice as likely to be killed by police as white Americans.
It underscores just how much has not changed. Today, Minneapolis and specifically George Floyd Square remains the center of calls for justice and a pilgrimage for those paying their respects and seeking a racial reckoning.
Our Maury Glover spent the day at the intersection of 38th and Chicago.
Yo, what's going on, Erica? You said not all was about integration or thinking that many businesses sold out. I mean, yeah, like that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? They took somebody else's like stuff instead of realizing the value. It's like when like a lot of times when people's parents leave them land or houses and stuff, instead of valuing and looking at the land and keeping the land, you sell it and then somebody else come in and make that money. That's the same kind of thing as thinking, you know what I'm saying, their ice is colder, you know what I'm saying? And the whole reason why they had it is because they realized it was nothing that they could do. You know what I'm saying?
Where people in
Yeah, Erica, I just showed the brother on Facebook talking about, you know, helping the white bitch. You know what I'm saying? What?
Minnesota and across the country came to remember, reflect, and heal. Maury?
Well, a candlelight vigil here at George Floyd Square lasted for about an hour, where the community came together to remember the man who they say changed the world.
But we recognize that when George was murdered, right over on that spot, there was something that happened, a quickening that happened in this earth. And it caused all of us, all mankind, to recognize that we're all one.
Oh man. Yo, Erica, yeah, I showed Ahmaud Arbery too. You remember when they had that press conference, but I also showed you know, they trying to get the stuff overturned. Right, exactly, Miss Vita. And that's another part of it, you know what I'm saying? Like we have all, and we just sell the stuff instead of owning it and controlling the market, you know what I'm saying? Like we just give it away. That's a part of it, you know what I'm saying? They didn't just defeat us, you know what I'm saying? We give it away with this forgiveness weak mindset. And the minute that you could be just as raw, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that's for raw, you know, as saying, well, look, you know what I'm saying? You may have to destroy the female host and all things that come forth. Well, you ain't gonna be there, instead of saying what this dude is saying, is who is supposed to be the family. Like the Emmett Till's dude, his cousin was in the room with him when they kidnapped him, and he talking about my serious condolences to the white bitch who killed him. That is not normal. Where do you see that happen? And show me any other group who does that. In fact, they petition for the person who take out, like the Asians did when they took out the Chinese girl, or with the cop Peter Liang, right? It wasn't no unity. Or how the Mexicans did and the Hispanics did when it came to Philando Castillo. It wasn't no unity then. There's only one group of people saying this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? It's us, like, you know, not to. Once we get out of this mindset, you know what I'm saying, it'll be easier for us to work together. You know what I mean?
Happened, a quickening that happened in this earth. And it caused all of us, all mankind, to recognize that we're all one. And because of what I see out here today, we know that we are far greater together than we are apart.
Now, several hundred people turned out at George Floyd Square to mark the 3rd anniversary of his death. The crowd listened to music and heard from one of Floyd's cousins and teachers. Now, the former and current Minneapolis police,
You know, it's official because we got a white bitch in the building.
chiefs also stopped by the vigil to pay their respects and remember.
What goes through my mind being out here is just
how we went from one of the most horrific tragedies in modern times in terms of policing to a community that has been so resilient, so hopeful, and is really uplifting his name and really trying to see that pathway as we move forward.
This is a city that's been incredibly welcoming, incredibly loving towards me. And this is just a very sobering moment for me personally, because I have definitely learned firsthand that there's so many residents of our city that have just been so deeply traumatized, and so many members of our police department that are also traumatized as well, just by...
See, I got a question. Why does like these black cops and these black pilots, they don't ever make the mistake of shooting innocent white kids, or they did one time and did 40 years. Oh, that's why they don't. But anyway, why don't they make that mistake of accidentally shooting some white kid? It just happened to be like the black kids, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, and you still be like, you know, have a black face in these positions. And on top of that, because like y'all not gonna give slack to the black person, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not either. It just I seem extreme because I talk about the other, you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Everything that has happened here.
Now, organizers say it is still important to give the community space to heal.
Well, yeah. All right, so but check this out, right? This is George Floyd's sister, and she says she forgives this cop here, you know what I'm saying? Even though she made it clear that he did not apologize, right? But what they say is her sister, all right? I don't know what's going on here, so.
Today marks 3 years since the death of Houston native George Floyd at the hands of a Minneapolis police officer. Floyd was being arrested for allegedly using a counterfeit bill at a convenience store. He told officers he didn't want to go inside of the squad car, and shortly after, former officer Derek Chauvin put his knee on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes. Floyd said he couldn't breathe before falling unconscious and eventually dying. Video of his murder sparked outrage worldwide. And earlier tonight, a special screening took place of a documentary about the creation of the George Floyd sculpture that was placed here in Houston. The event happening at the historic Emancipation Park Center in Houston's 3rd Ward. Dozens of attendees are there to watch the 40 minutes in-depth film. In attendance are some of George Floyd's relatives, as well as several state and local leaders. Floyd's sister sending out a message of forgiveness tonight.
I just want to say this. America might think I'm crazy for saying this, but I have to get this off my chest. At this point, 3 years down the line, I do forgive Derek Chauvin for what he did. It's not okay that he did it, okay? But I have to forgive him in order to move forth with my life.
Now, do y'all think that, now am I tripping, or do y'all think that's right? I think that's why we in the situation that we in, because we keep doing this so I could do with my life and all this other nonsense, right? And then there's no way that you can get, I'm not even saying, there is a way that you could get unity, right? You know what I'm saying? And that goes with the basics, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, it's probably paid, definitely. I agree with you. Right, but do you think that when I come to like young black people, I can't just come at them wagging my finger and say, do this, don't do this, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do have to create something that is helping them, you know what I'm saying? Like, or helping the next young generation. You have more sway. And even when I realize, you know what I'm saying, if you try to ask for something, you shouldn't really do that, you know what I'm saying? Until you are in a position to where you already making moves, you know what I'm saying? Because it's no different from anybody else, even the scammers and the black community that black people love to talk about, you know what I'm saying? They even made it to the point where you have to put in some work and be official before you can even say something. But that's how it should have always been, you know what I'm saying? Now, at a time, like the reason why they were able to build these things is because like they could not go get a piece of pie from them. So they say, you know what, we'll just make our own and go get a piece of pie from ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And they brought the money back into their communities, you know what I'm saying? But they also protected those communities. They was not people think that they was not just burning them down. They didn't destroy most of them until they built that Highway Act, and then the Civil Rights era and all of that stuff was going on. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's beside the point. You know what I'm saying? This is what we are today. You know what I'm saying? Where she talking about some I forgive them.
Forgiveness tonight.
I just want to say this. America might think I'm crazy for saying this, but I have to get this off my chest. At this point, 3 years down the line, I do forgive Derek Chauvin for what he did. It's not okay that he did it, okay? But I have to forgive him in order to move forth with my life.
With over 200 flavor.
All right, so and that's the thing, man. How much money does your dignity cost? You know what I'm saying? It's apparently cheap for us. How much money does it take for you to forgive like your brother's killer? Right? Steve Coakley's all what we see isn't what we seen. Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not even talking about the control opposition. We gotta, at this point, we gotta expect that. You know what I'm saying? We know that that's true. We know about COINTELPRO. We gotta know that all of that by now and be preparing for it. The problem is the people who ain't supposedly the control opposition, who's supposed to be the on our side, is the problem. You know what I'm saying? And how we react to these things. You know what I'm saying? That's who I really be showing this stuff for. But as the masses, you know what I'm saying? Because we always talk about, well, you should have complied, you should have did this. How much money is really worth your dignity, your soul? You know what I'm saying? Because there's always going to be a question when it comes to us, how much money was enough for you in your situation, right? Because we not even angry. Like, I show this stuff, but we should be angry that we gotta like do trivial jobs that don't even benefit to our best interest in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that you can get it, whatever, but I'm talking about us controlling an economy. We're not controlling a dollar, an economy, or any of that. We should be mad about that kind of stuff. Controlling industries, business. We should be mad about that kind of stuff, mad enough to take action to go and do it. You know what I'm saying? But this is just the extreme versions of it. And I showed this little 8-year-old girl, right, who got killed by the police, you know what I'm saying, while she was minding her business, you know what I'm saying? And listen to what her family said.
But won't forget Fantability. Those words this morning from the mother of 8-year-old Fantability outside the sentencing hearing for the 3 former Sharon Hill officers who shot her little girl. Joe Holden takes us through this morning's very emotional hearing.
Now, this little girl is 8 years old, all right?
Moments after learning the fate of the former police officers accused of fatally shooting 8-year-old Fantability, the little girl's family expressed gratitude, forgiveness, and a resolve to keep her memory alive.
And that's and yo, you said some, Ms. Vita, hope. No, we don't know. We are emotional people, which is a good thing. However, we are also easily manipulated, right? And that's a fact. Now, I do think that emotions are a good thing, but there's a difference from being controlled by our emotions. Like Ms. Vita said, you know what I'm saying, it's a good thing. Like when you're mad, it's like something smarter than you telling you that something is wrong, or when you're sad that something is wrong and something needs to change. You know what I'm saying? Whether you take action knowingly or not, you know what I'm saying? Now, that's what separates you, because a psychopath really doesn't have emotions. They don't. It's just about numbers, results, and all of this. They're not emotional when it comes to it. And you're trying to use emotions and logic to explain to a psychopath why what they do is wrong. Now, your emotions is good until it gets to the point where they start to control you, right? You're supposed to use your emotions to your advantage, not the other way around. Not let them control you, but you control them. Let that anger, that sadness, that whatever it is, be the fuel that you need to accomplish what you need to accomplish. Because see, I agree with what Ms. Vita said, you know what I'm saying? As far as, because as individuals, we all have different skill sets, right? But we still have to bring those individual skill sets amongst us, even if it's just us, together to build whatever institutions that we keep complaining about. Because this kind of stuff, like, I can say, okay, well, it's the media, but like the last 700 years is like the same thing has happened over and over and over, right? The cop shootings was happening in the 1920s, right? It was happening in the 1940s, the 1970s, the 2000s, right? Right now. But until we start putting our talents together as individuals, you may have something that is great for us to eat. Like Erica is a great cook, you know what I'm saying? Which is, we know we need to eat, you know what I'm saying? We have other people who, you know, have transportation. So like you find somebody with a black grocery store. We have food deserts. We have so many opportunities. And that's the individual part, you know what I'm saying, where we build what we need to build for ourselves, but then working together as a collective. Until you do that, and you're gonna keep talking about, oh, we forgive but won't forget.
The little girl's family expressed gratitude, forgiveness, and a resolve to keep her memory alive.
I just wanted to say that thank you. We forgive, but we will not forget. Santa Direte.
These words outside the Delaware County Courthouse Friday morning followed a 90-minute sentencing hearing for former Sharon Hill police officers Devon Smith, Sean Dolan, and Brian Devaney. Each man was sentenced to 11 months of home confinement, despite prosecutors' requests for jail time. Smith and Devaney openly cried when directly facing the Billity family to apologize. Smith saying, quote, "I constantly pray for your forgiveness." It was August 27, 2021. Gunshots fired outside the Academy Park football stadium. The three officers then opened fire in Fanta Billity's direction, killing her and wounding others in her family. Her sister, Mawada Billity, spoke of Fanta after the hearing.
My little sister, she was very caring, very kind, very outgoing. Although she's not here with us today, she's forever in our hearts, and she'll forever be by our side.
Prosecutors, while initially calling for jail time, appeared to be comfortable with Judge Margaret Amoroso's sentence.
Now, like, y'all see the difference right now. This little black girl was just minding her business, got shot and killed. They talking about forgiveness and stuff like this. And like raw, like this the video Erica
She has
sent
something
me.
personally on her heart that she would like to say to everybody.
Thank you.
Now, y'all think I'll be wrong for saying, right? Because what you think, dude? You think this little KKK little bitch should go forgive you for, like, okay, you done caught her saying the N-word, putting on blackface when she turned 17. You know, y'all son, you know, who love white girls, then start dating her and y'all catch her in blackface, and then you accidentally kill her. You think this daughter of a KKK clan member, even though you helped her, is gonna be like, I forgives you? You know what I'm saying? I pray to Jesus because Jesus told me to forgive you. Or she gonna be like, lynch that N-word. And you're gonna be doing 100 years anyway.
Thank you, Terrence, and we are Human Family for helping save our house. It means a lot and makes us realize that, you know, there are people out there that still want to help. We appreciate you guys so much.
This dude just cheesing hard as hell. And then on the other hand, you know what I'm saying?
Fired outsiders in her family. Her sister, Mawada Billity, spoke of Fanta after the hearing.
My little sister, she was very caring, very kind, very outgoing. Although she's not here with us today, she's forever in our hearts, and she'll forever be by our side.
Prosecutors, while initially calling for jail time, appeared to be comfortable with Judge Margaret Amoroso's sentencing decision, saying the entire incident was a terrible, reckless accident.
They are going to be held into house arrest for 11 months.
Oh,
that is a form of incarceration.
Oh boy, that's a form of incarceration, house arrest, right? For 11 months, a whole lot. Not a full year, but oh boy, it's a form of arrest, like the white boy said.
Into house arrest for 11 months. That is a form of incarceration, and they are going to be on probation for 5 years.
All three former officers.
Yeah, well, it might get reduced for good behavior, so we got to figure that part out first. But you know what they say, right? I'm trying to find the right part. Let me see.
Followed a 90-minute sentencing hearing for former Sharon Hill forgiveness. It was August 20 Park and wounded ability.
My little sister, she was very caring.
Forgiveness and a resolve to keep her memory alive.
I just wanted to say that thank you. We forgive, but we will not forget. Santa Direte.
These words outside the Delaware County.
Yeah, well, I hope you don't forgive them, especially not before they get off a house arrest for doing that. But anyway, yeah. So I that's enough of that crazy stuff. But it just like I just even seen this one, right? So I wanted you to show. Because they was just talking about last week about that white dude for like in baseball. Like, of course, he was saying like the N-word and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But the president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum president, right? So they saying he got hate for his forgiving heart because he forgave the dude for saying that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can still do regular stuff when on how you and plus you're at your house and not in prison, right? As a black man would be for like a dime bag of weed, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so check this out, because this is not as deep as bad as the other stuff, so you know what I'm saying? So
now to a follow-up on a story we brought you last week. Oakland A's broadcaster Glenn Kuiper suspended indefinitely after accidentally using a horrible racial slur on air. It's clearly accidental. Kuiper was getting ready to call a game earlier this month between the A's and the Royals. During the pregame show, he was telling his audience how he and his co-host spent their day in Kansas City. And he was trying to celebrate and highlight the Negro League Baseball Museum, whose mission it is to preserve the history of the African-American players who were not allowed to compete in Major League Baseball because of segregation.
A little bit earlier in the show, I said something didn't come out quite the way I wanted it to, and I just wanted to apologize if it sounded different than I meant it.
he didn't say nigger, or he didn't get to say it all the way out. So he apologizing to the rednecks out there for not saying, not going full in. Yeah, I know, Erica.
To be said.
The damage was done. Hours later, Kuiper was suspended indefinitely by NBC Sports. But unlike the network, the president of the museum, Bob Kendrick, who will join us live in a moment, took a more forgiving approach. He said, quote, "I welcomed Glenn to the NLBM yesterday and know he was generally excited."
And we was talking about it earlier, right? Because that's a microcosm. The Negro Leagues was a microcosm of it. You know what I'm saying? The Negro Leagues was super successful, and they used to beat the white boys all the time. Right, black people everywhere, even white people, because they love to see us run and jump. You can tell us to shut up and dribble nowadays, but they was making money in the Negro Leagues. You know what I'm saying? But players wanted to prove that they could play with the white boys, that they can get into their league, and it led to the destruction of their own leagues. And now we're looking at it today, like, you know what I'm saying, like, what they can do to Kyrie. Of course, they can do what they want to do because you getting their dollars, and oh Lord, if I can't get their dollars or whatever, then I'm gonna be just like you. But I mean, the Negro Leagues was definitely a microcosm of what happened to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, Satchel Paige said, I just wanted to prove that I was good enough to play in the white league. And this is not to condemn them, but like, we have to say the truth, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't want that mindset. You was better than them. They're not good enough to play in your league. Jackie Robinson was probably the best player in their league, and he wasn't even close to the best player in the Negro Leagues. Right? It was more exciting. It was better players. It was better everything. And we straight gave all of that stuff away for a chance to prove ourselves to some white boy because it got integrated. And these was the stars saying this at the time. Right? Like Josh Gibson and them wanted to play in their league instead of recognizing the greatness for our own league. You know what I'm saying? Like,
to be here. The word is painful and has no place in our society. And while I don't pretend to know Glenn's heart, I do know that my heart is one of forgiveness. I hope all of you will find it in yours to do the same.
Oh, boy.
Kendrick says for that forgiving approach, he has been receiving hate mail. Now, remember, Kuiper was trying to bring attention to the museum. He had just spent the day there with Mr. Kendrick. Let's be clear. There is no doubt the N-word as a particularly...
Yeah, he's probably all day. Look at these. I didn't know these N-words was so good. I didn't know. I'm going to say it like, I didn't know these niggas were so good at baseball. I didn't know about any of this.
Ugly history in this country. It is worse than accidentally saying, the F word on the air. But if it was an accidental mix-up of words, as it clearly seems to have been, with an immediate apology, which there was, followed by another apology after the game, maybe we all need to look at this more like Bob Kendrick does. Joining me now is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. Thanks so much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, so talk to me about your response. Why did you decide on forgiveness?
I just think it falls in line with the spirit of the story that I am a steward of. I've been involved with this museum, Dan, for 30 years now, and I've gotten to know so many Negro League players and their spirits.
Yeah, I shouldn't say this, yo, but Erica Ravita, do y'all think that he has a black or white wife if he's married?
They all had this endearing spirit, and it was a spirit of forgiveness. They could have been bitter about the things that transpired in their lives as they were trying to play baseball in this country, but they seemingly never harbored any bitterness or expressed any ill will toward anyone who may have attempted to perpetrate something against them. And so if I'm going to be true to this story and to the spirit of this museum that I represent, and even more so true to myself, for me, it was a no-brainer to forgive a man who had issued an apology.
Even the girl back then looked like she was white. Is this she probably a mulatto, but damn, brother. Yeah, I'll say white. Most blacks in these positions as presidents are gatekeepers and so forth, are gatekeepers and will do whatever their masters tell them. Yeah, can't trust none of them. Yeah, yep. And they'll put them in the position. But how much money does it take, though? You know what I'm saying? Because, like, incidentally, I'm not, like, caping for, like, Ja Morant either, but it also, like, don't like to see the way that black men were saying it. Like, like, y'all, like, talking about disarming black men yourselves as black men. Like, what in the hell? We are doomed, yo. Like, and that's why I'm like, yo, it's probably gonna have to end up being destruction and stuff like that. But I can keep trying. But yeah, probably a white wife, you know what I'm saying?
For me, it was a no-brainer to forgive a man who had issued an apology. And that's simply what I did. And when you do these kinds of things, I'm not doing them for approval. I'm not doing them for applause. Certainly didn't expect the condemnation that came along with it. But, all of that comes along with the territory. Yeah. But it's so important for myself that I stay true to who I am as a human being.
He had spent the day with you, as you said.
Yeah. I wonder what, like, yo, I'm about to start selling "I'm a human being" t-shirts again, man. I bet you I'll sell out, yo. I'm gonna say I'm a human being, and black people gonna buy that up. Well, I'd be like, yo, some real stuff. They ain't gonna touch that one. Oh Lord.
Clearly seemed that he was trying to promote the museum. It seemed to me, and I wonder what you make of this theory, it seemed to me like he knew that the word was an old word that isn't used anymore.
By the way, it was funny when they was promoting it. They was also promoting some damn barbecue stuff, you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
But that he chose the wrong one. And I know that that's the most innocent way to view it. But boy, when you watch that video, you watch the way he's trying to promote and build up the museum, that's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah. Well, again, now I'm not naive enough to understand that he's likely used the word before.
Oh, man.
Because it's you don't slip if you don't have that word in your vocabulary.
See, like these coons know the truth. They know the real. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, right? See, back then, like, even the coons had to be like, well, look, they tried to kiss their ass and get accepted, but they knew they wasn't accepted. Right now, today, they think they is accepted, and then they end up like Clarence Thomas and stuff like that, right? But like, they let it slip out from time to time. Like, yeah, he know it wasn't a damn accident. He know he probably was calling him the N-word, but.
And that's okay, because I know that there wasn't malice intended. There are a lot of people that have used that word.
That's okay.
If you don't have that word in your vocabulary. And that's okay, because I know that there wasn't malice intended. There are a lot of people that have used that word in private conversation. And I'm not condoning what was done. I am forgiving what was done. And to me, that's two different things.
No, the point is though, Miss Vita, you don't have to prove if you are human or not to know damn body, especially when they are arguably not the same kind of human as you. Arguably, if you look at like albedo and diets, like they have to eat different stuff and take different medicines. Like arguably, you can say, you know, they're not even the same kind as you. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's sickening that Black people try to explain our humanity. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's sickening that we try to explain our damn humanity to everybody else who don't care nothing about any of that we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about, and I was just making a joke about, selling it as a t-shirt, but I'm not saying that we're not, but you wear the shirt to convince other people that you are. You know what I'm saying? That's a sickness in the head. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it kind of makes me mad that we even do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even going oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying like I'm just explaining because I know other people will be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, might get confused. Like, you don't explain that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you are a damn human anyway, you know what I'm saying? But you got to feel the need to explain that. And this dude talking about, like, you may call me an N-word and that's okay. It's crazy.
There wasn't malice intended. There are a lot of people that have used that word in private conversation. And I'm not condoning what was done. I am forgiving what was done. And to me, that's two different things. And as I said in my statement, the word carries a lot of, it's hurtful. And particularly in my community, and the people that I represent, and I understand that. But again, I know that it was not deliberate. I know it wasn't intentional. And so from where I come from, I can accept his apology.
Thank you for watching.
Oh, man. So, of course he can't speak for us. Yo, what's going on, Consider? Yeah, I'm not saying, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you trying to explain your humanity to somebody who kind of lacks humanity. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's called projection, and then you sit there and explain it. It's no different from like a toxic relationship where they gaslight you and then you try to explain yourself when they know that they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Right, yeah. I mean, a kind of man, right? Yeah, I guess they could be considered a kind of man. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Or they could be not even that at all. I don't know. But what I do know is they're not like me and they're not like you. And we sit here talking about something, I forgive you. And this brother talking about something, I forgive that. You know what I'm saying? And he's talking about something, I know that you don't just slip, but that's okay. They can call us N-words. And this one was kind of a debate. I'm going to go through it quick. So I got to get out of here.
Things, I'm not doing them for approval. I'm not doing them for applause. For me,
so he said the Negro Museum and his he gets hate for his forgiving heart. Y'all just seen that.
It was a no for approval. I'm not doing them for applause.
Many people have now condemned Kendrick for forgiving Kuiper. Morgan, I had taken the position that I thought forgiving him was the right thing, that it was clearly accidental. There's a level of ignorance. You have to wonder, of course, why the word was in the vocabulary.
Now they gotta get the brother up here, dressed in a suit, because that they determined all of society and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I think having meaningful stuff on is more valuable. But anyway.
And available to him. But as I said to Bob Kendrick when I interviewed him, I said, I will bet you he knew it was a word that is no longer used anymore, and he picked the wrong one. Forgivable?
Before we came in and I had seen
Let me ask the mulatto chick first.
Video, I was leaning towards forgivable, but actually the gusto with which he pronounced that word, and then also seeing his age and the fact that he has a job in the media. I think we can agree that if your profession involves communicating, then you need to be pretty on top of the right way to be articulating.
Yeah, I agree, but the question is, does the punishment fit the crime, Joe?
Look, I think it certainly was a fireable offense. So the fact that he's only suspended indefinitely, I think says that he is being given a little bit of grace here. I think also just the fact that there were two people there, that in the aftermath of what is one of the most jarring words in the English vocabulary that stirs up some of the darkest, vilest periods of American history, no one seemed to even in the moment.
Well, the other guy was,
real quick, and Consider is in the building now too, but this brother here who's saying the complete opposite of what we've been seeing, do y'all think that he got a black wife or a white wife? Miss Vita, Erica, Raw, Consider.
Very odd
like
to watch
this.
the other guy.
Yeah, no.
Like, who's hearing the word, you expect him to go like this.
Yeah,
you know, like,
right. You know, I expected something out of, you know, when Kanye West stands up there after Katrina and says George Bush doesn't care about black people, and all of a sudden everyone is, you know, Chris Tucker's looking around. I mean, people said something.
Highly favored. Damn.
Thing has gone terribly wrong on live television. There was none of that. And so I think for me, that's what gives me pause. How is it that even in the aftermath of that, that there was kind of no kind of self-realization?
But does it matter, though, that it's clear it was a mistake, right? He's trying to promote the museum.
You keep saying it was clear it was a mistake.
Yeah.
I was uncomfortable with the way the word just flowed off.
Well, but that's still a mistake. Let's agree he wasn't trying to use the word.
I
Right?
don't know that we know enough.
Well,
to
come on.
that.
Then why would he do? So
Why
he
did it
just,
take him a couple hours to clarify?
All right, so they're trying to make him like a news thing.
Didn't want to use that word.
Right,
in
right. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Yes.
But so I think there is a difference between saying you can earn forgiveness, that we should have grace, and also saying that you should immediately have your job back after 3 days. Right. That's very different.
And just because one black person has said he's okay with it does not mean
No,
that we
Kendrick doesn't get to make this decision.
Yes,
There's no
exactly.
doubt about that. But you know, I have to say the reason I take his position on this so seriously is because he also had just spent the day with the guy, right? So he had just been at the museum evidence.
It's a valid point. It is.
But as an employer, do I want that risk that this guy at any
All
moment?
right, so anyway, I don't know if y'all agree with the brother who's talking about forgiving them and stuff like that, but you know what? Unfortunately, a lot of black people do agree with the forgiveness mindset. You know what I'm saying? And let me show this last thing these last things before I get out of here, right? You know what I'm saying? I want to show you where that gets you, right? Because I want to kind of update you on like the migrant thing and the city council stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Very few, selective few, like not just a few, a selective few of black men who have been thoroughly, you know what I'm saying, as the term will be, buck broken, you know what I'm saying, will get in a position, right, where they have them, especially in the speaking position for us. And even in a lot of these institutions that we own, you know what I'm saying, that's why I talk about certain institutions that we own, like a lot of that stuff, like people will be like, you know, the boule and all of that stuff. But like, let's be real. A lot of us do think that their ice is colder, you know what I'm saying? And it gets us in trouble. And then, of course, the most dangerous species, the white bitch, you know what I'm saying, is out there, you know what I'm saying? And that's a definite problem. And, you know, we'll help a Klan member white girl, you know what I'm saying, before we would help each other. And then we'll be smiling and cheesing about it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he definitely used it, Erica. Only majority Christian blacks go with forgiveness. I don't know, man, because I haven't seen a lot, like, because I can say, like, let's be real, like, I haven't seen, like, Islam brothers be like, it's black people in general. The 5%ers go around talking about helping each other. The Israelites got to wait on somebody else. They may or may not forgive them, but they're their brother. You know what I'm saying? All of these mindsets that we pick up, you know what I'm saying? It seems to make us the greatest enemy out of everybody. And we always get divided, you know what I'm saying? Even with the latest ADOS versus FBA thing, you know, or Pan-African thing and all of that stuff. All of it is designed to get us arguing amongst ourselves, you know what I'm saying? When and then we turn around and forgive everybody but ourselves. Like, yo, you know what happened? You could be like, yo, I go step on another brother's shoe and he'd be ready to kill me. But, you know, saying a white boy could kill your fucking kid. And I'm sorry for cussing, but a white person could kill your kid and you talking about forgive me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, so let me show you this so I can get up out of here real quick.
Congratulations.
Mayor Brandon Johnson presiding over his first Chicago City Council meeting and starting off with a victory. Alderman
This here goes a mayor, a black mayor, because they always throw that in there.
Approving the mayor's unity plan, reorganizing City Council. Wasn't all smooth sailing, though.
Alderman delayed a proposal to dedicate $51 million toward the migrant crisis here in Chicago. CBS 2's Andrew Ramos was there.
51 million and 33 million coming from taxpayers, black taxpayers, to fund migrants to come into their community. Yeah, we like being divided and fighting each other. Yep. Yeah, and to put away, you can keep whatever beliefs that you have. Like, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, even all of that, we can all agree that our children are in danger and need to be taught the truth, no matter what you think the truth is. We know that our children need to be, you know what I'm saying, taught the truth about history. And I don't think that we should put anybody's like mindset, like no matter who they are, we should learn about the facts about history first. And then maybe the second go around, we can look at different ideologies so you can kind of form your own, and like, you know, you can more easily pick up on mistakes and not be so attached to a certain mindset. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we all gonna have to agree to make schools for our children, even if we have to debate about amongst ourselves about the curriculum. We know that their curriculum is not healthy for us. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care what you believe. You know what I'm saying? If you have a black child, you know what I'm saying, I don't care what tribe or nation or whatever you claim it is. You know what I'm saying? That's why I even say the word black, because I'm talking about all of us. You know what I'm saying? Putting our resources together to make sure this kind of stuff don't happen, because we don't have a choice. You know what I mean?
As frustrations boiled over from those opposed to the plan.
So order, the meeting is adjourned.
Inside City Council chamber.
All right. So this brother, I'm sure he got a black wife, y'all. What y'all think? I'm sure this brother got a black wife.
It was momentous for Mayor Brandon Johnson, who opened his first council meeting as mayor. Outside, it was a different story. Residents, mostly from the South Shore neighborhood, converged on City Hall to lash out at a plan that would set aside $51 million to address the crisis of housing asylum seekers sent in from Texas that have inundated city shelters. Critics see it as a disinvestment in their own community.
But you step over us and do other things for other folks, because we've never heard of the black community of Chicago at a city council voting on $51 million for black people.
As part of the measure, funding would go towards staffing for city respite centers, in addition to a number of other services. The funds themselves come from a surplus that was set aside in 2021 reserved for emergencies.
Join me in deferring in public.
Amid the growing tensions, the vote for funding was delayed.
We have all the folks in the chambers that did not agree with
Look at this Hispanic dude. She said, I heard he came out of nowhere, handpicked by. Yeah, I mean, yo, the people who are in there, they are not going to. Like, most of us are even like, even if you look on YouTube, and even some of the people that we think is down, they're gonna be scared to say like the Jews, like shysters. You know, I like to call them shysters, but I'm gonna say the Jews, kikes, whatever you want to call them. We'd be scared to talk about any other group and be all apologetic about every other group, but no other group is going to be like that about you. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like a lot of them, especially in those positions, are not going to ever try anybody and are mostly going to blame ourselves, you know? Right. And Cassandra said they chose him instead of the other dude, you know what I'm saying? But this is what you get, you know what I'm saying? Because we thinking that either one or the other, you know what I'm saying? You can't escape the Democratic plantation and go to the Republican plantation because they both plantations, right? All you can do is be like, you know what? It is what it is. We got to fight for our own. And even when we talk about reparations, you know, we don't even mention the fact that we should not be paying taxes to these people at all. You know what I'm saying? With they corrupt taxes and all of that stuff, they should not get a dime. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we should have the courage to not even do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but right now it's a suicide mission. Forget it, you know.
Chambers that did not agree with the transfer of those funds to provide the supports for our asylum seekers.
We are committed to not only address the migrant crisis, but also to make sure that we address the housing crisis affecting many Chicagoans across the city.
Mayor Johnson addressed the heated debate, but did not give specifics of a plan, reminding reporters that he inherited this crisis, and he's only been on the job for less than 2 weeks.
It's going to take all of us to get it done. I mean, there are obviously individuals that, have opinions around how.
Yo, we are straight doomed, y'all. We're doomed. I can't even listen to this nonsense. All right, so there's some of the citizens arguing
crisis
with the
over housing and supporting asylum seekers across the earth say that
call it asylum seekers
is not in place.
But we're not hearing together.
Before it wrapped up, a Wednesday morning press conference at City Hall, led by some city council members, proposing a plan to address the needs.
Cassandra said they had an independent, but they didn't want them. And here, you know, when people talk about, you know, voting matters and all that stuff, but usually when I talk to those people, they don't know the actual candidates, their policies, they what they're trying to do or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? They just know that they're a Democrat, you know. And doing that kind of stuff, it is definitely useless. It's only useful if you have candidates for you, by you. Now, here we had a brother who was independent, and I voted for him every time, but he only had like a couple hundred votes and like lost bad every single time that he ran. And he wasn't even extreme. He wasn't even on what I'm talking about. He was on some kind of all people lives matter, but he was on some black first, though. You know what I'm saying? Even though he was kind of on some all lives matter, you know what I'm saying, on one of them activist kind of tips, you know what I'm saying? But even he only got a couple hundred votes, you know what I'm saying? Like, just being black first and let alone black only, you know what I'm saying? Like, and when you realize, like y'all saying, like certain people that's in positions and what they're afraid and won't do and like puppet masters and stuff, like, well, then that means the only other choice is to take it into your own hands and then to like do what you got to do to make your own laws work, you know, right? Because it's a system, you know what I'm saying? Even if those black people are out here to enforce to get in, yeah, and they lied to get into the office, you know what I'm saying? And that's true. And I think grooming and creating your own candidate, it comes along with being more political savvy, which I think that we are slowly becoming. Like, I don't think that we are like Malcolm X used to be like, you know, black people are politically ignorant. I think we progress somewhat in that area, somewhat, only a little bit though. But until we start grooming our own, like making sure they're funded by us, they're not getting paid by nobody else. They're going to do what whoever pays them to tell you. And they're going to tell you whatever they have to tell you to get into the office. You know what I'm saying? But they're also not going to go too far because they don't want to piss off the white voters, which is another tip to let you know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, all of that stuff. But like I said, man, until we funding this stuff, you know,
of asylum seekers got interrupted.
Commit to me that we first.
We're going to commit.
Yeah, commitment what?
We got a commitment to work with you to make sure that those meetings are addressed.
Leaders of ex-cons for community and social sense if a plan is not in place.
But we're not hearing together.
Before it wrapped up, a Wednesday morning press conference at City Hall, led by some city council members, proposing a plan to address the needs of asylum seekers, got interrupted.
Commit to me that we first.
We're going to commit.
Yeah, commitment what?
We got a commitment to work with you to make sure that those meetings are addressed.
Leaders of ex-cons for community and social change demanding that those getting out of prison are not overlooked.
They got housing for us to go in prison, but no housing for us when we return.
Part of the council members' proposal includes 3 types of shelters. Some shelters housing up to 400 people, other shelters with no more than 30 people.
This plan should be able to be implemented to house every single person experiencing homelessness across the city of Chicago. These issues are hand in hand, and we should be working together.
Oh no, yeah, work together. You notice when those what is they East Arabs start talking about working together is when they getting crushed, and any other time they sticking with the enemy. Now I agree with you, Miss Vita. You know, once in all, because I don't even think that you can take the roots out of something and it still be alive. So even if you try to go inside and like it's still no way to do it, but other than to destroy. I believe in destroying their stuff. That's just what I'm here for, to destroy their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because why is meant to destroy me? You know what I'm saying? So this is for the people who talk about, I think that there's like, especially right now, like, if they talking about cleaning up on your street or certain things, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. This is for the people who are talk about election and voting is important. It's only important if you do these certain things, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't have people in there representing you, then it's all for nothing. And you're just voting because they're Democrat. And I know because, I'm speaking like to my family, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mom would be like, oh, you need to go vote for Joe Biden. Why? Because he's Democrat and he's not Donald Trump. Yo, he may be just as bad or worse than him. You know what I'm saying? And it don't make Donald Trump better either just because I say that. You know what I'm saying? It makes them the same. They're on the same team, even though they argue amongst themselves, but that's none of my business. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I would be like something a lot more extreme. But if you were talking about, you know what I'm saying, my life, we can go out there and vote with our I'm a Human t-shirts on and say, get our voter stickers on there. So
These issues are hand in hand, and we should be working together.
During Wednesday's city council meeting, several aldermen deferred discussion and a possible vote on using $51 million initially set to help with addiction to be used instead for asylum seekers.
The unfortunate thing is, even if you were to allocate that $51 million today, that only would have lasted for about 2 months. And we would be in the same exact spot come July.
Councilman Ray Lopez says in the best interest of taxpayer dollars and the humanity of migrants, a solid plan needs to be set in stone before resources are allocated.
We need a citywide solution because this is a citywide problem. And the new mayor, though this was...
Yeah, I don't give a damn about you damn black people. Damn, I'm not even showing this stuff. My bad, y'all. Oh, yeah, I was. But yeah, man, once... you saw what he said though. He was like, in the interest of, prospect of his people, you know what I'm saying? We need a solid plan, you know what I'm saying? He's not talking about for your people, even though a lot of black people would probably take it that way. You know what I'm saying? But all right, let me show you one because I wasn't going to show this. All right, but I'm going to show y'all this, you know what I'm saying? Because I was going to show it before and then I didn't come on here. So I'm going to show y'all this and I'm going to get out of here. And I'll put the link in the chat if somebody want to come on here, but I ain't got a lot of time because I got to go a little bit later. But I definitely had to address that forgiveness stuff because it's like pissing me off right now. Because like, why do we just keep saying this stuff? And it's not like, I get it, but like, I know people who do this. Hell, like, I joke with my mom, like, sometimes you think the white man's ice is colder. It hits home for me. So I know it is real. It's not just people who are, I know my mom isn't like getting paid or any of that stuff. She just like, you know what I'm saying, a part of the system. And I am pissed off about that. And it got to be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Like all of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, from believe everything that they say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not taking the jab because you wanted me to take this jab. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. All right, so check this out, man. This is a 13-year-old who got killed by an old dude, you know what I'm saying, 2 days ago. And this goes back to the goddamn forgiveness. And hopefully you don't forgive him, but the only way to get justice is one way, you know what I'm saying? Forgiving people that didn't ask for it. Oh, considering I'm not gonna play it, but I'm gonna show you real quick, right? I showed this Ahmaud Arbery's family.
Working, you have people out here working, marching, going in these offices. Yeah. We conquered that lynch mob.
They said they conquered that lynch mob, but right, now those 3 dudes is talking about they're trying to get an overturn on the guilty plea. You know what I'm saying? So I was showing that, and then I showed you the George Floyd thing. You know what I'm saying, earlier, right? And his sister, if she was his sister, you know what I'm saying, or his brother or whatever, is talking about I forgive you. Let me make that clear. But let me show you this. You know what I'm saying?
And we begin with details on that shooting of 13-year-old Sinzay Reed.
The man who shot Reed is not charged with murder. In the past few hours, 10 TV has learned witnesses changed the entire case. 10 TV's Richard Solomon has been following this story since it broke, and he joins us now live in studio with what was revealed in court today. Richard?
Well, Yolanda, Andrew, for the first time in Craig Butler's arraignment today, prosecutors revealed several witnesses came forward who say
Yeah, Miss Vita said it's witchcraft, but they keep saying here, and I know that's why we need to see the opposite of us not forgiving and actually, you know what I'm saying, making their ass pay for what they did to us. That works just as powerful, right? That would be witchcraft too. So we need to take control. Of course, they're gonna show us that. That's the point. They're supposed to do that to us. You know, they're supposed to do that to us to show us this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to keep us in our position. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if these families is forgiven, but they're just now letting this dude off the hook. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to make it seem like he shot him first. You know what I'm saying? So check it out.
Now live in studio with what was revealed in court today. Richard?
Well, Yolanda, Andrew, for the first time in Craig Butler's arraignment today, prosecutors revealed several witnesses came forward who say 13-year-old Sinzay Reed shot first at Butler while he was in his truck. That's when they say Butler got out of his truck, fired back, killing the teen. Now, this all happened back in October of last year in the Wedgwood Village apartments. Butler told police he shot in self-defense, but we never knew why until today. The Franklin County assistant prosecutor says a witness told police they saw a boy in a mask and a hoodie shoot at Butler. The boy was later identified as Sinzay. Now, it's important to note that police did not find a gun on Sinzay, but witnesses say they saw someone move a gun away from him before officers arrived.
Now, even though there was no evidence of a gun whatsoever, no gunshots, no gunpowder on him, no shell casings, they still say, oh, well, he fired first, so this white boy is innocent. Who knows what witnesses? And it's ironic. Oh, yo, because that's why I used to talk about these cases, right? Do you know that other cops can be witnesses? Like other cops who was there and may or may not have fired their gun. You know that they could testify as witnesses? Because I showed one case where that actually happened, where another cop was used as a witness. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they can use other cops as a witness. They can make it up as they go along, first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? Like, I live in the Commonwealth where you make it up as you go along. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying that said, there was witnesses that said it, but it was no evidence whatsoever.
A gun on Sinzay, but witnesses say they saw someone move a gun away from him before officers arrived. It's also important to know that no shell casings were found near Sinzay, and there were no bullets found in Butler's truck. Butler was initially charged with murder, but the charges were dropped. He is currently charged with improper use of a firearm.
So he shot at him, but it wasn't no bullet holes. And if it was a bullet hole in him, maybe that would be one thing. You know what I'm saying? I would call this young brother a hero. But there was no bullet holes. And they trying to be like, oh, well, he's off because he shot first.
Is currently charged with improper use of a firearm and tampering with evidence. Now, after that hearing, we spoke with an emotional DeJuan Sharp, who's a spokesperson for Sinzay's family. Take a listen.
We get no justice here. There's nothing we can do. There's no enough protests we can do. Nobody wants to see a child killed, and they're just letting this man walk around free. Even in the courtroom, the prosecutor said it. There has been no gun ever found, ever.
Now, that sister said it on that movie, right? Yo, the people who kidnapped Emmett Till, they tortured him, they killed him, they did. Even though the cousin who was in the room forgave the white bitch and talking about condolences, right? Now, they walked around for the rest of their life. This white bitch walked around for 60-something years afterwards, free, living her life peacefully. And you know what happened? Because there was no consequences, they did it again. But once you know that it's consequences for your actions, I showed you at the beginning, these white boys is like, yo, go target, right? Because they talk about LBGT. They had their Revolutionary War because they didn't want to pay taxes. They had their Civil War because they didn't want to pay taxes. We talking about the lives of our children. They call it political, but we not willing to go to war for that. Yo, it is what you at war. You didn't start it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to defend yourself. But if you wasn't, then where's your institution? Even they be like the South lost the war, but they still able to fly their flag. Where your flag at? Then they would have had to do that. But of course they would have said it if it was, but there was no gunpowder, no gun residue. They can check his clothes still for that if they want to. There was no bullet holes, no guns found, no nothing. Right? But they say, well, he fired first, so this white boy can go home. And I'm telling you, it ain't no damn marching. There's only one way to stop it from happening. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and maybe I can say this stuff because, like I said, I'm in this situation. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, come up, Cassandra. Oh, my bad. Come back on, Cassandra. No, they're not going to jail their own, but that's what the point is, right? Do we think it's going to stop until there is some form of justice, though? You know what I'm saying? Whether we create a jail or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying. We got to make sure that they finish that jail time before anything. Yo, what's going on, Cassandra?
Oh, you know I'm hot now. Yeah, I was doing good until you got to this little case right here. Okay, for one, who was the witness? For two, did you test his hands for gun residue before you buried him? And for three, the little boy was shot in the back. So where was the threat? They always come up with us when it's up to us, and they come up with all these reasons why you're gonna let the perpetrator go, right? So, okay, when do black people go and get the street justice? If they didn't do what they supposed to do, what we gonna do about it? I'm tired of this. Do we ever get tired of any of this? So now they're coming up with a reason why they're gonna let him walk free. Just like they coming up with one why they're gonna let the other dude, what's his name, Daniel Perry, who choked out the brother on the train. What they gonna do? Let him go free too? Because he was a feeling that he felt he felt threatened.
Hey,
They're gonna use those words.
You know they raised millions of dollars for him.
Millions of dollars for a murderer. But this is America. This is what we look at. When it come to white folk, they gonna support this. They don't give a dang on if they're guilty or not. You're not gonna tell me that man shot him. Nothing came out until now. Now you found a witness, and now you said, "Oh, he's not guilty because we found a witness that actually said, well, where was the witness before?" They lying. You're not gonna tell me they're not lying. These are liars. They're perpetual liars, and that's what they do. They lie all the damn time. Period. And then we believe them. No, you don't get off just because you done came up with a lie and you done found a witness. And they stand up for each other. Not to say that he really had a witness. Somebody could have just said, "Okay, I saw it." Or somebody, one of his friends could have did it. They tried that with the Nigerian. Remember the Nigerian that killed the girl that killed the Nigerian? Well, her friends came forth. So they tried it with him. But no, that's crazy. You don't get to tell me that. You don't get to come up with an excuse and tell me that, I heard it was a witness. No, that's crazy. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Go ahead, forecast.
But no, but that you're absolutely right. Now, consider the problem is though, like they're going to do that, and we'll be like, well, I can't believe in 2023 that they would let this happen. You know what I'm saying? Well, I can't believe in 2023 that we still let it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because the point is, this is what happens when you create systems that is meant to benefit you. And like I said, every group is out to benefit themselves. And only one group of people is sitting here talking about, I forgive you. We need to help all people. Even the 5% is supposed to be the deepest people, you know what I'm saying? All of this stuff, they go around teaching everybody and all lives matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's a mentality. I don't know where it come from, whether it was beat into us or whether we had it the whole time, but like this forgiveness, this like, yo, the love, I'm only saying I doubt that is love because we can't even love ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that is fear because if we get down to it, you're going to be like, listen, they do have an army. They got this, they have that. But it doesn't matter. Like, yo, I think it takes more courage not to do nothing because they already doing what they wanted to do. You don't have no knowledge of nothing about anything that you used to be or say or do or have. You know what I'm saying? You don't own none of that anymore. And you should be pissed off about that. Enough to not let this happen to your children. And show me another group that has forgiven you for even just talking about it. They'd be like, shut up and forget about it for talking about it. Right. And we talking about our children's lives. Now, I'm not going to debate whether this young brother should, because that's what they want you to do, debate whether but if you think that it's debatable, well, I don't need to be in the same society as you, and you damn sure don't need to be eligible for the jury pool that in the society that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Because now we got a problem, you know what I'm saying? And if you think that it's all right to do this to our children, you know what I'm saying, then I don't care what side you on, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you're on I'm saying I care what side you on, but I don't care if you're on their side, then it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But consider you want to say something, I'm gonna show one more thing, consider, and it's like just
go ahead and show it. It's just crazy. I still don't believe him. Go ahead and show it though.
You heard that? I know you heard about that other young brother from that's 11 years old, right? That got killed by a cop.
No, I didn't hear about that one. Let me see.
Check it out. He called the police to help his mom. Now, this is a whole nother issue that they're gonna make a whole nother issue, and I dare them to come even try it. You know what I'm saying? But the 11-year-old kid called the police, and the police shot him. Now you're gonna see this whole thing, right? So check it out.
Well, tonight an investigation is underway after an
Well, yeah, of course it's going to start freezing up now, but
11-year-old Mississippi boy was shot by a police officer during a domestic disturbance call last weekend. The family of Adarian Murray is calling on the officer to be fired and charged. CBS's Omar Villafranca reports community members want the police body cam footage to be released.
He's out of the hospital, but 11-year-old Darian Murray still has bandages where he was shot in the chest by an Indianola, Mississippi police officer last week. His mother, Nikayla Murray, remembers the chaos and confusion while holding her bleeding son.
He started singing gospel. He started praying. We started praying. We're very
yeah, no, I'm sorry, consider, but why are you talking about like, yo, after I got shot, we started saying gospel and like praying and stuff? Yo, chill. Like, yo, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition should be the only prayer. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, and you can jump in anytime you want to say something, consider.
Oh my God, what you say, pass ammunition? I like that one though, seriously. But like you said, until we start doing something about it, nothing's gonna happen. I think we've been so traumatized, and it's almost like we are in this abusive relationship. You know how, and then you see the abuser as your saviors, but until we get tired of it, nothing's gonna change. And now they're going backwards. Now they don't go to jail for anything that they do to you now. They'll shoot you, and then at the last minute in the trial, we had a witness that said blah, 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 blah. But nobody's vetting the witness. Nobody knows where the witness came from. Nobody knows anything. But you're allowing it. So until we stop allowing it, guess what's going to keep happening? They're going to keep on shooting you. You're going to keep on dying. And they're going to keep on getting away with it.
Yeah.
I pass. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Erica said it about the cop here. I want you to see it, though. I want you to see it.
And we started praying. We're very religious.
Did you think your son was going to die?
At that moment, I didn't know.
The Murray family staged
What
a
in
sit-in
the-
today at Indianola City
That's
Hall,
a sit-in. What is it, 1952? What are you talking about, a sit-in?
demanding police release body cam footage of the incident.
That's my child, y'all. I held him while he bled.
Murray says her son called 911 after an irate ex-boyfriend showed up to her house. When officers arrived, family attorney Carlos Moore said Indianola police banged on the door and ordered everyone inside the house out.
He went out of his room and went towards the living room. As soon as he got in the living room, he got shot by that same officer that told him to come out.
He didn't have anything in his hands or armed or
Nothing. He had nothing.
Moore and local media have identified the man who shot Murray as
Now, consider, you see this? This is the cop who shot him.
Black.
This dude right here.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
And that's now my question for y'all, Cassandra, Erica, Miss Vita, Raw, do you think he would have did that to a little white kid? A little white 11-year-old boy?
No, he would have did it to a white kid. No, but they have permission to do it to us. They have permission. It doesn't matter. Whatever they want to do, they can, whether they black or white. But remember now, 2 black officers shot a white boy, and he died, and they went to jail.
40 years.
Okay,
like.
let's not forget now. But every time one of ours die, they get to walk. So what's he gonna say? He was afraid for his life? Okay.
Yeah. And I could ask y'all if y'all think he got a black wife or a white wife, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, this is like too serious for that one, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't think it is, because I think it's a mentality.
Yeah, it's the mentality. His mind is set. He's, he thinks he's one of them.
Yeah.
But if that was a white kid, his behind would have been going to jail. What you bet?
What? Would he? Now, there ain't no blue line there. Well, yeah, I just wanted you to see this,
Officer Greg Capers, who once received the Officer of the Year award. The Murray family says,
I watched the movie, right? I forget which one it was, but the black superintendent of LAPD, he was like, man, you know how much racist stuff I had to take with a smile on my face to get to the position? He was like pretty much saying, you know how hard I had to coon to get to the position that I'm in? You think I'm going to mess it up for a case of racism against another black person? And this brother reminded me of that story right there.
they're not going anywhere until justice is served.
The family deserves answers, and they deserve it sooner than later. You had an 11-year-old boy come within an inch of losing his life.
Real quick,
We tried to
hear this sit in again.
Police released after an irate attorney Carlos Moore said Indianola police banged on the door.
I'm praying we're very.
I don't think
No.
The Murray family staged a sit-in today at Indianola City Hall, demanding.
I'm talking about something deep in my heart. Like, what the hell is going on? We're doomed, Cassandra.
We're
you
done.
Understand?
We're done. You in the city hall doing what? What you usually do. We've done this forever, and it's not done no changes, right? So we keep on doing the same stuff over and over, knowing that there's nothing's going to happen from you sitting in. They don't care. But if you tear up some stuff and you burn some stuff down, then they gonna move. But we won't do that. We won't back in the day, they burned some stuff up, right? They made them respect them. They made them do what they needed to do. But now, this is what happened here. I go with the education. When you allow enemies to educate you, they show you how important they are. They start teaching and training you how important they are. I pass Mike.
Yeah. And Ms. Vita says she's not forgiving. It's a start. Yeah, definitely. Hopefully she's not. But justice or else what? Like, I'm trying to tell you to or else, you know what I'm saying? But damn, or else what? I'm gonna play this one because it was something in this. I forgot what it was, and then I'm gonna wrap it up.
An 11-year-old Mississippi boy was shot by a police officer during a domestic disturbance call last weekend. The family of Adarian Murray is calling on the officer to be fired and charged. CBS's Omar Villafranca reports community members want the police body cam footage to be released.
He's out of the hospital, but 11-year-old police officer last week. His mother,
I just played this.
demanding.
Never mind. I got the wrong one, so I'll stop there. I got the wrong one. But yeah, man. Hopefully she's not forgiven, but I don't know, man, because a lot of people didn't forgive. Oh, my brother Bakari in the building.
Too, just like the rest of them do.
What up, Bakari?
What's up, man? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, a little bit. What, you just came from a sit-in?
Nah, I ain't come from the city. Look, how y'all doing? Hey, this is what I can say. I'm gonna call home and see what's going on, cause that's like 30 miles, 40 miles from my house where I'm from. And I can tell you this: I don't know about them. I don't know what has happened yet. But it was a case of police brutality and a couple of cases of it in where I'm from, in Greenville, Mississippi, where they actually beat the young man. And what happened after that was, well, I just say it like this: the police had to leave the town. They went and shot up his house. Everybody already know what happened anyway. They shot up their house and ran him out of town. It was a white police, but they shot up the house. They shot up in their house a couple of times for beating on somebody. So I'm just going, this is not far from my house. So I'm going to just have to call and see what's going on, what's their intentions other than that. Because I noticed when that happened, it didn't make national news, but when that happened on the statewide news, that's what they were putting on TV. They were showing the people who saying they were praying and forgiving, that's all, man. But they didn't talk about, well, actually it's been a couple of them, but they didn't talk about the people who rode and shot up their house while they was in the house and ran them out of town. So I'm just gonna have to call and see what's going on, because like I say, this is not my hometown, but it's not far from my hometown. Well, folks know one another, but like I said, I do know that for a fact though, when they had a couple of cases of police brutality, how they went and shot up how they shot up the cop's house and ran him out of town. So I don't know. Hopefully the same thing happened in this one. I'm just being honest with you, and I ain't trying to have these folks say nothing to you on YouTube with me saying stuff like that, but hopefully the same type of energy go this cop way and go every cop way that want to beat and shoot, that want to abuse and kill us. And then this is one of our children. And if ain't nothing done, if there's nothing done about this, man, it's like shit. How can we be okay? But I just have to wait and see.
Now, Bakari, you talking about
I just want to chime in on that
which
part.
one you talking about? You talking about the child in Mississippi?
In Indianola, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I say that's not my home, but it's close to my home. But that did happen in my hometown, but they didn't shoot him; they had beat him, and the people shot up they shot up the cop's house that beat him.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. I wasn't saying that they forgive. That was like another thing, but I hope they don't. Like, all right, I hope what you say
I hope
is
they
true.
don't
You know
too.
what I'm saying?
I hope they don't. I really hope they don't. I hope that's why I said I hope they have the same type of energy. They need to have the same energy for him. He looked like some old dude too. Just gonna pull up. How you just pull up and see 11-year-old black child as a threat? You just pull up and shoot. I saw somebody black and shoot. That's probably all you gonna see in Indianola too, for the most part. It's black folk. It's black folk. I bet you if you look up Indianola now, it ain't got about like 15,000 people probably. But out of that 15,000 people, I bet you it's about 80% black, 80% black. All them little towns along that highway, it's along Highway 61. All those little towns along Highway 61, 4-5 miles apart, 10, 15,000 people, is like 85, it's like 80 to 85% black. And I don't know how ain't nobody got him yet, if they haven't. Like I say, I'm gonna call home and check.
Yeah. Yeah, Cassandra, go ahead, Cassandra.
But isn't this like the second time a case like this has happened? Because now they're gonna let the black cop shoot you and what? Get away with it? Then they, you know what I'm saying? They won't let the white cops do it no more because that's racism. But if you let the black cops do it, what's that called? You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I call it reverse racism.
Exactly.
How we practice bigotry on ourselves.
Y'all keep saying them people, they say black people don't like themselves. When people like themselves, that means that when you say racism, people love each other. We're the only people that don't love each other. So that's what racism is. A white man love himself. So you can call it racism. We just don't love each other.
That's my husband, y'all.
Yeah.
No,
I agree with what he was saying. But that's why I called it reverse racism, because we don't love ourselves. I call it reverse because we do it to ourselves all the time. I don't use reverse in the way that they use it. Saying when a black person stand up for themselves against white people, that's reverse racism. No, I say we doing it in reverse. Instead of going forward and doing what we should do to other people, but we do it to ourselves. That's why when I say reverse, that's what I mean, because I agree with what he was saying. And I know when I say reverse racism, sometimes, but I understand what he's saying. I know exactly what he's saying, and I agree with what he just said. So, but I just want to explain what I mean by reverse racism.
Well, yeah, I mean,
somebody need to catch that old. Somebody need to catch that old dude right there and beat the dog doo-doo out of him. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, the third one is a fact. He lived right. I'm telling you. I ain't, like I said, I know how big Indianola is. I'm not from Indianola, but I'm telling you, that person he shot, that little kid, that little child that he shot, he know their family. He know everything. I'm telling you, he know everybody. It's impossible in that they all know each other. It's impossible for them not to know each other. So you go there with people you know. First of all, you black. But then not only is it black, it's black people you know that you just rolling up on shooting. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, if you don't know his daddy, you know his uncle. You know his granddaddy. Y'all know how it is in them little towns like that, where everybody know each other, and you just roll up and go to busing.
Yeah. And and that's the thing, Bakari, because people come on here and they try to call me racist for the stuff that I say, you know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, first of all, they don't realize that it's not an offensive thing to be called racist. But the thing that hurt me is black people that is I'll focus on the white bitches because that's the one that you got the biggest weakness for. And they're the most dangerous ones out of all of them. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you to build your, I'm like, yo, black only. I don't give a damn about none of them other people. And I'm telling you that you can only be at the top and enforcing your damn laws, because there's no laws or none of that stuff that they can enforce other than yourself. And we scared to say their name, let alone enforce a law. But that's how nature works. They literally killing our children. And even if you don't think they are literally indoctrinating your children, which we all can agree on. And we all know that is wrong. And I don't care what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? We know that they don't teach our children the truth. And that's not enough for I show when our kids get killed, because maybe maybe we'll be like, well, that makes me mad enough to do something. But the fact that the people that we surrounded with, that I take that personally, that we are so indoctrinated. I don't blame us for being indoctrinated. I blame the system that needs to be destroyed. And at the end of the day, it ain't no forgiveness until we get into our hearts that we could be like, yo, they is our competition. You don't got to say enemy. I say our enemy for us, but they are your competition and the world's resources to be able to feed, clothe, shelter yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you cannot do that for yourself and you subject it to somebody else, then they're going to make whatever law that they want to make and go by. They don't go by their own laws. They make the laws for you, as you Negroes supposed to stay in place. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, yo, we got to get that fear out of our heart. Because, like, what do we have to lose? Tell me, what have they not taken from you already? Like, already they tell you that you have to do this with your children. Tell me one thing that they have not taken from you that you're not willing to stand up and do something. And I don't care what they do to you, but until we get that energy, we done, yo. So we doomed anyway. So I said all that for nothing. But y'all want to say something? I'm gonna get up out of here. Yo, Bakar. Go ahead, Cassandra.
Well, I'm gonna just say this one thing. Until everybody on here, y'all pull up that movie. I talked about this movie, The Education of a Negro. Until you watch that movie, maybe that'll make you mad enough to maybe that'll make you. We need to watch it then. But until you watch that movie, you're not gonna get mad until you watch that movie. Then you'll start doing what you need to do. Because they're telling you in that movie exactly where they at. They're telling you exactly what they think, and they're telling you exactly how they feel about you. So until you pull that movie up and watch that movie, Black folk ain't gonna we're gonna just sit up here and do nothing. We're gonna keep on forgiving folk that ain't even asking for forgiveness. I pass the mic.
Okay. Bakar, you want to say something? They the invaders.
Give me a second. I told you I was out. Give me 1 second.
No, yeah, you good, my brother. Because I hope you can hear me, Bakari, because I'll do this while you're doing that, right? Because I want you to see something before you close out, right? I showed. I'm just gonna show you what I was showing, right? You seen the Negro Leagues thing, but this brother here, who everybody came to a consensus, probably got a white wife, like all the rest of the brothers here. He forgave him, right? But then this family of this little 8-year-old black girl, you know what I'm saying, who got shot by the police, they forgave them. But they won't forget, but they forgave them, of course, you know what I'm saying. Then I showed you this. George Floyd's sister, or if you could say sister, forgives him, you know what I'm saying. And you see Cassandra was in there going in, and you see all they freak Derek Chauvin, he was a career criminal. You see what they say, you know. And then a brother forgiving a white chick. Now, I showed you this, Bakari, right? Because I'm gonna go backwards. Ahmaud Arbery, the 3 dudes who was charged with killing him, trying to overturn the case, right? Because I showed this at first. I know you love to see this here. So I'm gonna play this for you, Bakari, then I'm gonna let y'all close out.
The lynch mob. Action to acknowledge that the spirit of Ahmaud defeated the lynch mob. The spirit of Ahmaud defeated the lynch mob. The spirit of Ahmaud defeated the lynch mob. Marcus Aubrey.
Go, Marcus. You got this. Go, Marcus. All right. Go.
Number one, I want to give all glory to God.
Yes.
Because that's who made all this possible.
Yes, it is.
Number two, I want to thank his mama.
Yes.
And I want to thank my sisters and brothers. I want to thank my children for being strong through this rough time.
Yes.
Because I know it was hard what they had to deal with.
Yes.
And number two, I want to thank all y'all people, all the support y'all gave us. Because one of us did this.
There you go.
Ain't no one side did this.
That's right.
God put us all together to make this happen. So ain't no one side. So what I tell you, God don't work one-sided.
Yes.
God work two-sided. All right, I'm going to put you here, I'm going to put you there.
Amen.
So y'all pull together and work this thing.
Amen.
So, hey, that's what it's all about.
Amen.
Because if one side wouldn't work, it wouldn't have happened.
That's right.
You had people working when you wasn't working.
That's right.
Come on. When you weren't working, you had people out here working, marching. We conquered that lynch mob.
Yes.
We got that lynch mob. This history today, letting you know that black kid life does matter. For real, all life matters.
Yes.
Not just black children. We don't want to see nobody go through this.
Amen.
I wouldn't want to see no daddy watch their kid get lynched and shot down like that.
That's right, Mom.
So it's all our problem. It's all our problem. So, hey, let's keep fighting. Let's keep doing it and making this place a better place for all human beings.
Amen.
Oh boy.
Amen. I'm done. What in the world? Okay.
Amen.
You know what? I can't take your
Okay. Hey, but did you play Al Sharpton prayer? We thank God. Look at Al Sharpton. We thank. Listen what Al Sharpton said. And that man, and that dude, Ahmaud Arbery, mama and daddy, amen. Al Sharpton said, we thank God for what happened. Because we was able to turn Georgia, a state known for racism, a state known for bigotry, with 11 white judges, God did that. So it could change. So we could change Georgia. Amen. Then he get his God ain't one-sided. God, boy, Erica got mad with me for laughing the first time ever. Every time I still hear this funny. You thanking God that somebody done kill your son. God ain't one-sided, God two-sided. Man, what the hell wrong with you? God ain't one-sided, God two-sided. Because we don't worship no one-sided God now. Somebody done kill your child. You can't say my child black life, black, your child life matter without having to. Well, you know, everybody like, what the hell is wrong? Now, according to what I want to say, the lady from Cleveland, Tamir Rice mama, and it was another one who said Al Sharpton and Ben Crump tell them what to say. Now she, if I remember correctly, I think she the one who she ain't even got her settlement yet. Or she did, it wasn't known like that because she said she wasn't getting up there saying that stuff. They telling her to say, because they told her if you get up there and say your true feelings, you won't get that big settlement check. So people get up there and just look like a fool after your child been murdered. That 25-year-old young man. I ain't gonna even say that nonsense Al Sharpton was saying. That 25-year-old boy. That was not a boy. He was a 25-year-old young man. We don't have to be a boy to say it's not okay for white people to kill us. That was a 25-year-old. He was a young man, and he wasn't breaking the law. They don't have the right to kill young black boys. They don't have the right to kill young black men. They don't have the right to kill black men or black women. We don't have to put ourselves in a position where you gonna say you're a boy so you can get white folks' sympathy. No, that was a young man, a grown man, and I hope they be on the cell with some folks. At least the one dude in South Carolina beat the stank out of Dylan Roof. They had to, I said his damn name, they had to put him in protective custody. Then after they beat him, after that black dude beat the hell out of Dylan Roof, and they put him in protective custody. Now, I can say that black people came up with $10,000 to pay his bail, to get him out of jail after he beat Dylan Roof. I will give black folks in South Carolina credit for that. I didn't even know about it. I heard Willie D. Loud talking about it. He say after the dude beat him, he paid some money towards it. But the bail wasn't $10,000, so they paid it, and then he ended up with some money for beating Dylan Roof. But that's what needs to happen to them. And somebody needs to slap Ahmaud Arbery daddy in the mouth getting up there saying that. We can't get somebody kill me. That's what I meant when I said Black Death. Black Death is the biggest economic stimulus package in the black community. Black Death. It's sad. It's sad, but it is. Look how we'll switch up. Look how we'll switch our feelings on TV because we want to get a check. Look how them rappers brag on killing black folk. Everything, if you're just killing black folk, you can make some money. Man, we got to switch that up. I hear the mic.
Yeah. Consider you want to say something?
Well, you know what? My husband just said, he said it ain't gonna last so long because they get it the wrong way. But until we as black folk care more about our family members and about what's right and about fixing the problems, because you know that Al Sharpton them and what's the little attorney, the dummy, he sound like something wrong with him. The way Crump. Now he'll sit up there and he'll tell you can't say certain things, but then yet he's not changing any laws. There's no change. You're getting paid, but there's no change. So when do we get paid? When do we get changes? Not just getting paid, but when do we get the changes? And I think that was Trayvon. Was it Trayvon's Martin? No, it wasn't. It was who's the little boy's mom? Tamir Rice's mom, wasn't it? Who said that she couldn't really get on there and say what she really wanted to say? Wasn't that whose mom that was that you were talking about? Was it Tamir Rice?
Tamir Rice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whose mom said that. But still, when do we change anything? Nothing's being changed. Yeah, we're getting up there and getting paid. But even on the movie, what did they say? They said those are different kind of N words. Okay, I'm not gonna say it. They said those are different kind of N words. The ones that don't want the money, they want revenge. I'm telling you, I'm tired. I want revenge. I want the money. It's time to get revenge for all of this stuff that we've gone through and they've taken us through. It's time for us to get back with them. You know what I'm saying? I've had enough. It makes me mad every time I see stuff like that, just like the 8-year-old girl who they shot dead. The police shot her dead, and the family said, "Oh, we forgive." The girl ain't even dead. I mean, she wasn't even buried, a year, and you forgiving. What's going on? What's going on? When are we going to get tired enough? I'm tired. I'm done. This makes me sick to my stomach even seeing it. I passed the mic.
Remember the brother, I can't remember his name, that was choked in New York City for selling the loose cigarettes, right? What's his name? Eric Garner.
Gray. Was it Freddie Gray?
Eric Garner.
Okay, Garner.
To let you know what Tamir Rice's mama saying is facts. Go back and watch when Eric Garner's wife first came out and she was on that camera. Something, do you forgive? Well, hell no, I don't forgive them M&Fs. And then about when it came close time to that settlement, Al Sharpton and Ben Crump standing up there with her. All her energy and everything has changed. Everything. Everything has changed. But her first reaction, hell no, I don't forgive. And you shouldn't. How are we making it okay to just kill us? Man, what kind of sense that makes?
That's that mental illness that we displaying. That's that PTSD. How you gonna forgive somebody that easy and that fast for killing, for gunning down your family member? Just like Ahmaud Arbery. No, who was that? Malcolm Jean's brother. You up there hugging the white girl. Can I give you a hug? Your brother.
Please.
He
said, please, can I give her a hug?
Please, can I give you a hug? Please. Really? I'm gonna tell you what. If I was his mom and I'm sitting down there, they'd had to go to a commercial. They would have had to go to a commercial. What do you mean, please? Please what? She just gunned your brother down. He's watching the game, eating a bowl of ice cream in his drawers. And you come up in his house, tell him to get on the ground, or tell him, but you in his house. Come on, you guys. And we believe, and the sad part is we believe this. We believe the lies. We believe when they said, "Oh, somebody had a gun. I saw a gun." But the boy got shot in the back. We're talking about, we're going back to what's his name? Singay. What's his name? Singay? We're going back to that. Now you got a person, a witness that's going to come up. Who was this witness? What was this witness? You're going to wait till the trial date and come up with somebody out the blue. You know that's a scam. You know they didn't. You know that boy didn't have nothing, didn't have a gun. No gun. They would have said it. They would have said it way before now. You know they lying. So what we gonna do? We're gonna sit up there and allow them to keep lying. They make up stuff all the time. They lie as they go. As they go along. They make it up as they go along, and we're okay with it. We don't call them to the carpet. We don't say anything. We just, no, we just accept it. Why? Because I'm white and I say so. We don't question anything they tell us. And then they look at us and say, "Boy, them old dumb N-words." Okay. And then they look at you. We'll never get justice doing this. Never. I passed the mic.
Yeah. And Erica said, Rifleman said it was okay to forgive, but he would never say it's okay to forgive another black man or another black person. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that with him, but yeah, he look up to him. And then Ms. Vita said it's not right. We won't get justice or financial restitution unless we say we forgive. And I'm gonna say it's only like maybe financial restitution, but it's only one way to get justice, you know what I'm saying? And that's for real, you know what I'm saying? Like if you look at how anything else in the world and the universe operates, it's there to survive and to reproduce and to keep make sure that its species going, except for one thing. It doesn't like it's like a lamb going up to a lion, like, yo, I forgive you for eating my nephew, you know what I'm saying? And then, can I be a part of your tribe? I forgave you. Can I get a hug? You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't work that way, you know? And when it comes to financial restitution, how much are our lives worth? Apparently, like, and I'm not saying for us, but like in general, with all of these families talking about what they do and the people who can get in these positions to sell us out, like, apparently it's very, very cheap, you know what I'm saying? Like, all it takes is a couple of pieces of paper with dudes on them who would have lynched you, right? But apparently it's like real cheap, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna wrap it up. Cassandra, you tell them about Rome and the Bush and everything you doing. I'm gonna put your channel in the chat and then your channel Bakari in the chat too. But Cassandra, your last words and then like your channel and tell them everything about what you're doing, you know.
Absolutely. Well, oh Lord, it's just a lot. Right now, I just get so frustrated just seeing what I'm seeing. You got a whole lot of coons in our community. We got traitors among us. Everywhere you look, we fighting them, we fighting us. It just makes no sense. Are we ever going to get any peace? Are we ever going to get on one accord? Dr. Claude Anderson told us we got to get on one accord. If we want to win this, we're going to have to support each other. We're going to have to get on one accord, and we're going to have to do some dirt. It's time for us to do some dirty work. It's time for us to get some street justice. In Africa, they call it jungle justice, okay? It's time for us to get street justice. It's time for us to let them know that we're not doing this anymore. You hurt us, I'm hurting you. You come after mine, I'm coming after yours. Period. Period. And until we get serious enough, and until we get tired enough, until we get to the point where we are not accepting their lies, and you can't come and tell me, now this boy then died, and then you're going to, no, I'm not listening to that. No, because we already know how they operate. They're perpetual liars. This is what they do. So why are every word that comes out of their mouth, we believe? Why? That makes no sense to me. We know how these people are. We've seen them several videos of the police officer coming up, they, ranting and raving about how they want to kill Black people. And then they'll come and say, oh, I was just ranting. Oh, I was just having a bad day. Well, when I have a bad day, I don't come up and say how many crackers I want to kill. I don't say how many crackers I want to hang. I don't say how many crackers kids I want to shoot in the head, do I? That's not a rant. That's you telling me how you really feel. And you got caught. So now you can just tell us you ranting. And we supposed to believe it. And we supposed to suck it up. And we supposed to be, oh, yes, master, you just ranting. You know what I'm saying? Come on. So Ram in the Bush, yeah, let's talk about that. We still just trying to do what we do. We helping Black, helping the reentry guys. When they come out of jail, we're putting them to work, paid on the job training, and we moving forward, just moving forward. Doing a lot with CDO programs because that's what I see a lot where the need is. They want to drive, they want to build their own tables, and that's what we're doing. We're allowing reentry guys to build their own tables. We're not begging white folks for jobs. We're not begging them for training because some of these guys are trained to do work inside the prison, and they come out and they can't even use that training outside. And then, like I said, we've been trying to look for housing because a lot of them don't have a place to go after they come out of the transition homes. They don't have a place to go. So we're actually trying to talk to a couple of investors about leasing with the option to buy properties. It's hard, it's hard to get to the place where you're able to eat and able to have a place to live because they want to hold this thing over your head indefinite. No, they've gone to jail 10, 20 years or whatever, and now they come out and they want a new lease on life. You're giving white folk a new lease, but you're not giving it to Black folk. You allow white folk to get on these jobs and make some money, but you're not doing it for Black people. It's time for like I said, it's time for us to build our own tables. We don't have to beg them for a seat at their table. We're going to get to a place where they're going to start begging you for a seat. And then we're not going to give them a seat because we know they don't come to, they don't come to share. They come to take over. Anywhere they come, anywhere they go, they come to take over. So no, we're not going to give them a seat at our table. I pass the mic. Thank you for allowing me to come.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, consider real quick. What's the I forgot the sister name who has the trucking school down there.
Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina.
Tim's and Heels. She's out
Yeah.
of Rockingham, North Carolina.
Yeah. I gotta remember. I gotta re-upload that show. I'm gonna go back and re-upload it because I think that was a good interview too.
Yes, she's still doing it. Yep.
All right. Yeah, Bukhari, yo, your last words for everything, and then and then plug your stuff.
Yeah. Man, thanks for letting me speak. What's up to the chat? Everybody. Look, we got to do better. There's a whole lot of things that we do have to do better. I plan for my next one. I don't know when it's gonna be, but I'm gonna do it about the black illiteracy rate. Basically, literally, when I went to my daughter high school graduation the other day, I went to the black men illiteracy, black men illiteracy rate. You're gonna do black people with black men because, and when you go there and you can see everybody, then I look at go start looking at college, school stats is graduating. Every man, Mexican, every man is graduating from everything at a higher rate than the African American man. Everybody. When I see my brothers and sisters from the continent here doing stuff, it don't bother me. But it's amazing how other people can come and see, and they can take advantage, I guess, of whatever it is you got to make it in this system, I guess, right now. And everybody I'm doing our young men. We're going to have to change our young people's focus. I don't know how to do that, but it's going to have to be changed because everybody is like surpassing our young men. And that's what I'm going to talk about on my next one. That's my plan anyway. On that note, thanks for letting me speak. Peace.
All right, yeah, Bukhari, don't be late for the sit-in you about to go to, my brother. So I know you got to go. I'm just messing with you, but yeah, definitely, Bukhari, you absolutely right. And that's the whole point. It's not for anybody who's of our age. We already done, and the moment y'all accept that, the better off we'll be that we already done. And it's about the next generation that's coming up and not passing down this trauma that we have going on. You know what I'm saying? And teaching that is only one, like pain teaches you the truth. You know what I'm saying? If you touch fire, it's not gonna be like, well, I'm gonna forgive you and not burn you this time, but next time I'm gonna burn you. You know what I'm saying? No, it burns you every single time that you touch fire. You know what I'm saying? And we play with fire like it's all good. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like as long as we scared to even say other people's names and call them out or show their faces, you are doomed. And I'm afraid that we are doomed. But I got faith in Black people, so listen, like justice is justice, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not telling you nothing. We not telling you nothing that George Washington ain't tell America. And he was a pedophile, his kid, rapist, you know what I'm saying, who they put on the side of a mountain. So, you know what I'm saying? You get scared when I say it though, but just pretend like it's a white dude telling you. But you know what? I'm gonna let this be the last words for today, right? Because Sidra brought up that movie. So I'm gonna play this one scene. I saw Bukhari saw it and he showed the manipulation part at the end, you know what I'm saying? But I want y'all to see this part too, you know what I'm saying? Because this is a lot of first riflemen out here in the world today. Well, if it plays, right?
Well, that's something.
Yeah.
Tonight on The Patriot Factor, we are here with special guest Darren Coates, pastor of New Love Worship Center. Pastor.
Thank you for having me, Sarah.
Thanks for coming. So, $10.5 million in property damages since the Brady trial ended. You have a question for those angry Black protesters out there.
The question I have for those protesters is that, do Black lives really matter? And I say no. Black lives does not matter. They won't not matter, and they can't not matter until Black on Black crime is eliminated.
Wow. Preach, preacher.
Blacks is confused. Don't nobody know what to do. Confused. What I'm gonna do? Am I gonna raise a fist? Or am I gonna march? Am I gonna march? Or am I gonna take a knee? Riot. Loot. What? And you know what the answer is, Sarah? Prayer.
Yes, Lord.
Prayer, Sarah. I get down on both knees. 2 knees, not one.
Yes.
And I pray. I pray that the same God who saw us through the middle passage will see us through this.
Amen.
Amen, sister?
Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
Yeah, ain't that something? I don't know if that was real or fake. Which one was the movie? But anyway, go ahead, Cassandra.
Well, I'm sure Candace Owens loved that movie. That part of and Rightful Man.
That was Candace Owens interviewing Rightful Man.
That was her sister right there in the flesh. But it's a great movie, you guys. Y'all need to watch it. Pull it up. It'll open your eyes to understand a little bit more about what's going on. What do you think about that forecast, about that movie? I think it's more enlightening for Black people to help us to understand how they really feel.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that a lot of Black people is going to be able to stomach it, you know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be like, they don't have the like you, Bakari, MG2, Erica, y'all understand the value and the gems that was actually in there. And I played that because literally we had people come on here and say those exact words, you know what I'm saying? And then we just saw like the dude, which one was more real, him or the brother Ahmaud Arbery father, you know what I'm saying? So like I think that movie says a lot. And I just wish, I would say this though, Cassandra, and maybe we should do one live about that movie, but I wish at the end it would have showed a definite Black victory because it's a movie, even though like maybe in real life, I guess you can't. Like that's me being a optimist and still, but that's what I should have called this. Like the word hope needs to be destroyed. So I must talk about that. Hope needs to be destroyed, but I wish they would have showed something more powerful at the end. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you think about it though. What you think?
Well, you already know how I feel about the end. I'm going to imagine that he won. That's just the best thing that I can do right now because that movie was so and in the sad forecast, a lot of Black people feel the way that young lady feels, a lot of Black people. And that is what happens when we allow them to educate us, period. And that's where it's from. It took years to get here. And and this is the result, right? You're looking at the result of people that you allow that don't like you to educate your children, unfortunately. And we still allowing it. But you got a lot of Black folk that feel like that. I mean, listen to Tim Scott, what he was talking about. He's running for president. Look at what's coming out of this man's mouth. He should not be even allowed to talk, with all that hatred about himself coming out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? But this is how Black people feel about themselves now. That's the sad part about it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and that brother who run and talk about we owe them.
Yeah, but this is how Black people feel. And white folk love this. I don't know if they love them or they love the fact that they are speaking against their own. And it's not about them. And I don't believe they love them. I think they love the fact that these coons are actually allowed to speak against their own. Because if they was in the right community, they would be dead. They would kill them. They don't let white folk talk like this. They don't, because they gonna give them a visit. You know what I'm saying? They just don't allow it. But we are the only ones that allow people to come in our community and even our own and talk like that. That's the saddest part about it.
Yeah. And and maybe we'll do one where we show like parts of the movie that we should talk about like as examples of real life. Bakari, I know you've seen it. Do you have any thoughts on it, or like, do you want to say anything about that, or?
No, I'm just listening to y'all, man.
Oh yeah, well, okay, yeah. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll talk about, because I think and get like Erica on there. I know she's seen it too, so like that would be a dope one for next
Oh
time.
yeah, I think that'll be great, especially the part where he talked about. Remember, the white dude said that he's a different kind of Negro. He said he didn't even accept the money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When he was sitting at the table talking to his wife. So yeah, that's a good part. But yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, because Bakari was showing the part where he was talking about the manipulation at the end, where he was like, "Y'all so easily manipulated." So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But all right, y'all. So that was it. I appreciate y'all for coming on here. Shouts out to Consider. Y'all support Realm in the Bush, and I'm gonna find that video that I did with the sister Katrina and her Tim. What was it? What is it? What was it again? Consider Truckers and Tim's.
You said Tim's and Heels.
Yeah, Tim's and Hills. I knew it was something like that. Tim's. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
That's fine.
All right, yeah, and shouts out to Raw, highly favored, Erica in the building. Miss Vita definitely in the building the whole time, and the rest of y'all scared to comment. You notice once I start talking about the white bitches, like they start, all the black dudes start running away, and that's our weakness, man. So whatever, it is what it is, man. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.
Peace.